Welcome to Laughlin, Nevada. We're about 90 miles south of Las Vegas on the far southern tip of Nevada, right alongside the Colorado River. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ken Stout, and why are we in this fun little desert gaming town? Well, because the big dogs of the Legacy Racing Association have brought out the big toys to go racing, and that makes Laughlin the battleground. It's round two for the Legacy Racing Association, and we'll focus in on the unlimited trucks located right here behind me today. Some of the most sophisticated trucks on the planet. Are they fast? Absolutely. Engines producing in excess of 1,000 horsepower. But the truly amazing part is their ability to navigate through some of motorsport's toughest terrain and do it at speed. Speaking of speed, they'll be approaching speeds of 130 miles per hour out here on this course as the teams navigate 6 full laps of the 15-mile course. They'll also be equipped with Starstream Pro. That's right, it's a great system that's going to allow us to take you right inside of the truck, show you what it's like inside of the cockpit as they navigate that very tough terrain. Let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, these are the Formula One cars of the desert, the absolute best trucks money can buy. It's time to throw down in the desert. Welcome to Laughlin. Welcome to the battleground. We are excited to get going here. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Legacy Racing Association. This is the VT Construction Battlegrounds. We're here in Laughlin, Nevada. I'm Ken Stout. Robert Campbell sitting right alongside. I had to see which way this is going, so it's already confusing me. But that is Robert, as you can see. Read the graphics. That'll help you out. It'll also help me out, and, of course, Fish as well. These guys were here, was able to watch all the racing action that took place one day ago. Great to have a wealth of knowledge sitting on both sides of me. Welcome, guys. Another beautiful day here for desert racing.
It is. Once again, it's warm out today. We got a little bit of wind, so the dust won't be too much of a factor again, but unless you're running straight into the wind. But yeah, it's another nice day. Glad to be back for day two, the final day here.
So, Robert, let's talk about what we're going to see today, what everybody will be doing.
So I believe right off the start, we have Kevin McGilvery, the truck being driven by Rob Mack, and Christopher Polvorde starting side by side with them. So we have a two-wheel drive versus wheel drive. It's about 95 degrees today, so I have a feeling they're going to be pushing the entire race. 6 laps as hard as they can. I was out on the town a little bit last night with some of the racers. They said this is the roughest Laughlin they've ever raced.
Wow.
By far.
So 6 full laps. The course is 14.5 miles long. It's a total of 87 miles.
Correct. And
I did have the pleasure of going around here on Wednesday night when I got into town. There's a look at the track map right there. Certainly one of the areas. So if you look over there at mile marker number 6, between 6 and about 7.5, it's probably the roughest part of the course.
Yep, that is the Fox Shocks Proving Grounds. It is by far, in my opinion, the roughest section of the course. Besides some of these bowl turns from the action we were watching earlier today have some giant holes in them. So, and we also saw a lot of flat tires throughout the day, which I was not, I kind of expected, but wasn't as much as we're getting today.
And I agree with you 100% on that. When I went around the course, I thought this is a pretty tire-friendly course. I only saw a couple of rocks. So, Fish, I've got to ask you, if we go back a little bit more as we still look at this track map, after mile marker 5, you can see the main road crossing there. One of the aspects that makes this one a little bit different.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, you can hit that thing as fast as you want to go. We had guys clocked at over 100 miles an hour over that thing yesterday in this same race right now, and I expect to see the same today. It's actually a little bit less windy than yesterday, so you might even be able to go a little faster. The one thing about the unlimited trucks, they're honestly not very aerodynamic, so the wind actually plays a big factor in this, and when you send it across a big jump like that, you fly like a sail, and it gets a little sketchy.
See a lot of trucks jumping nose high, slapping the rear bumper on the way down.
Yeah, that's exactly what Rob Mack thought would happen to some, and that's where some of the short course experience would come in, say, for a Rob McCachran or a Greg Adler, some of the guys that have flown big trucks really, really high, and he knows exactly how to set the attitude of that truck to tap the brake, bring the front back down, do all the little tricks that they can do inside of the truck that they learned in short course. So something to think about there as well. And speaking of the road gap, how about our buddy Dodge Pullman? He will be covering all the action in the pits and doing our interviews for us here today, and he has a little bit more on the road gap. Dodge?
I'm standing in the middle of one of the most iconic jumps in off-road history. the Laughlin road gap. So to help give you guys a little bit of perspective here, you know, from this straightaway, you're gonna be going over 100 miles an hour. These trucks have a lot of suspension, right? So as it comes up this hill at 100 miles an hour, the G-forces are pushing down on the car way, way hard. And then as it gets to the top here, you'll feel the G-forces release, the springs launch you off the ground. I mean, you're flying, right? And I'm gonna be sprinting across this road. You're in the air, you're soaring, you're flying. About this point, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm glad I ate my Wheaties this morning. Tell your co-driver, hey, this is so cool. This is crazy. Brace for impact. And about right here, hopefully you're landing flat and you're back on the gas. But you can see they're just running it. Has me winded, giving you a little bit of perspective of how fast and how far these trucks are flying.
Now, looking at Dodge, you would think he was in a little bit better shape than that. You know, that sounded like me running across the road.
Yeah, I don't know what we just watched right there. That was pretty funny, though. Dodge,
he didn't get near as much air as these trucks are going to get either.
No. Hope he caught his breath. He's going to be down at the start line in a minute. He's got some interviews to do for us.
Yeah, Dodge did a great job yesterday, man. Great to have him with us. He's got a lot of personality, so we'll keep him busy all day long. There's a good look at our Optima starting line as well.
Yeah, one other thing I wanted to point out today, if you guys have not downloaded the Racing Redefined app, make sure you go over to the App Store and download it. That's what you're seeing on the left side of our screen right here. This is where you can view a live tracker throughout the day. Every single one of the unlimited trucks will be on the screen. We also have live split times coming every 2 miles all day. So go download the Racing Redefined app from the App Store. And it is powered by Clarios today, the live timing. It's been a game changer, and it worked great yesterday. Let's hope it does again today.
Yeah, our live track Mac powered by Optima batteries, as you just mentioned, live timing powered by Clarios. We appreciate that. Fox Shocks pits and our Fox Shocks proving grounds, as Robert had mentioned one time before. The big dogs are getting ready to head over there and get lined up as we'll kick things off here. We'll turn them loose approximately 3:30 out here.
Now, if I'm not wrong, I just watched Jack go by in Steve's truck.
Yeah, that is correct. I actually went up there and talked to him earlier, and Steve said he felt bad that Jack had a problem yesterday. He lost an engine, and he's gonna let him in his truck today. So Jack gets to jump in his dad's truck and go out there. His dad's truck actually DNF'd yesterday as well, just on the last part of the last lap. So he won't be able to win the race, but he can go out there and he can try to get a win for the day at least and have some fun.
And so, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Steve Allegas brought his truck over here, was all prepped for San Felipe. Unfortunately, only made it a few miles. I want to say about 30 miles or so, and then had a breakage. So they were able to bring that pretty much race prep truck and bring it right out here and go racing. Jack obviously had an issue. And we've got to talk about Jack because he's a reigning champion from a year ago, just turned 18 years old. His first race was out here at Laughlin when he was 10 years old and a side-by-side. So obviously a chip off the old block. He is bringing the name and the legendary status that goes with it right along with him.
Yes, he is. Steve is one of the legends of the sport, and Jack's following right in his footsteps. Kid's been fast since he was in UTVs. It's second he moved up into trucks. He's been a force to reckon with. And he's actually moving up. He just got another it'd be 1.9 Fab, or Herbst, the old Herbst trucks. So he's going to be in his own spec truck here soon, aside from his old Geyser.
Yeah, and Kevin McGilvery said that he had a chance to speak with Steve Allegas and said, hey, man, you want to go partners on a truck? And Steve said, I don't usually go partners on anything with anybody, but with you, I'll take a chance. And he thought that Kevin wanted to race with him inside of the truck. He said, no, I'm not doing it. He said, that's for Jack. So it was a pretty cool story to hear how it came together, and a little bit of time that I spent with Kevin McGilvery. What an outstanding guy he is.
He is super smart. He started out kind of humble roots in the unlimited truck field and has just progressed. And that truck they're racing this weekend is actually, I believe its first race was in 2005 or 6. So it is an older ID designs with lots of cool updates on it. And I misspoke yesterday. He does have active suspension in that truck, too. It's just not Fox Live Valve.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Christopher Polvardi's co-driver, rep from Fox, and a little bit of insight on that active live valving, if you will, what it's capable of. I mean, it's just absolutely mind-boggling.
Yep, it's a really
You spend
neat
your world
system.
with dampers, you get it.
That's all I play with, so it's really neat to see kind of the way the sport's progressing. Obviously, I prefer the old dumb shocks because they don't have any issues, but this new live valve stuff's really starting to take over. As they're figuring it out, it's going to be really hard to touch.
Yeah, as usual. I mean, there's going to be stumbling blocks along the way, but it's racing like this that develops that style of equipment, if you will.
Yep. No better way to go beat it up and do product development than out here racing.
Fish, what should we be looking for here today? Who's going to stand out, man?
I mean, we're looking at the top 2 trucks that are going side by side off the line. It's going to be pretty exciting. You know, you're going to see Rob McCachran. We did confirm Rob McCachran is going to drive all day today in the Kevin McGilvery entry. The way that Legacy works, as Robert told us, he confirmed it. You get to do one race where if you are the driver of record, you actually don't have to get in the vehicle at any point in order to get points. You can do that for one race during the season. So this is going to be the one race that Kevin doesn't have to get in the truck, and he will still be able to get whatever points they come away with today. So a lot of the times you'd have to stop and at least get in to go across the finish if you were the driver of record. So Rob does not have to stop today, basically.
Yeah, and in talking with both of those guys on Thursday, this was not the plan. But Rob had such an outstanding day one day ago.
Yeah.
Plans change.
Rob has had this very same plan changed numerous times throughout his driving career, driving with multiple people. Including in the Corona truck multiple times with Steve Serapis. Rob would start and they'd be winning, and he would say, no, you stay in there, you keep going. So it's hard to pull your driver out when they're at the top after day one, or halfway through the race.
Yeah, and then you mentioned Christopher Polvardi, of course, will be right alongside. A good run one day ago, as well as 5th year in the desert out here. Finished 3rd at Baja 500 a year ago. So, I mean, a young driver developing, a multi-time champion coming out of a short course, but cutting his teeth, still relatively young here, even with 5 years underneath his belt, incomparable to some of the veterans that are here in the field. We'll talk more on him a little bit more, but we want to bring you the highlights of what we had yesterday, since we were talking about that before they kick them off, and the boys had a great race call just one day ago. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
All right, welcome everybody. We are here on a beautiful, warm, windy afternoon in Laughlin, Nevada. We are here for the VT Construction Legacy Off-Road Association Battleground race. We actually have Dodge Pullman down on the starting line, so let's throw it down to Dodge and hear what some of these drivers are thinking right before they start the race.
We've got Jack Olligas out front, and so we're gonna give it all we got because we need to get out in front of him and try to, close the gap on Jack.
And there we go. He is off the line. So Jack Olligas headed out on course, first car on course.
Jack crossed the first road jump with a time of 4:34 and an average speed of 87 miles an hour.
Second, we have Rob Mack. He is 22 seconds behind, and then Eric Husted was 46 seconds behind, and Christopher Polvardi was 52 seconds behind. The leader, that was at mile 12.
A lot of sitting in the dust. You can see Jack has a problem on screen right now, though.
We are watching him. He just pulled over, and we see him getting out.
It's not good when Jack's getting out.
Oh, it looks like, is that something under the hood that was smoking a little bit even, it looked like, for a second?
Yep. It's not good when Jack's out first. Based on the way they're looking, I think they tossed a belt.
Look at him.
He's cheered on.
He's telling him, go, go, go.
Oh,
look at this.
Watch Chris coming in on Eric's bumper here.
This is awesome. All right, yeah,
This is
Christopher
our
Polvardi.
all-wheel drive battle.
It is. All-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive. Oh, Christopher's getting a little sideways there, going off the side of the jump.
He's getting excited. He's trying to make the pass happen. As Chris gets it up on 2 wheels here.
Watch this. Through
Getting
the corner.
A little rowdy. And that is Eric taking his Joker lap.
I would not have done that right there. I would,
No.
unless he wanted to let Christopher go on purpose, I would not have taken that because you were guaranteed to lose a position right there. We have Kevin McGilvery is showing his first right now with Christopher Polvardi in second. Christopher is 27 seconds behind him on lap 2 out on course right now.
Looks like Kit might be having some issues. I know they had some issues with that truck earlier in the month testing.
35 seconds behind now. Christopher lost a little bit more time. We have 106.04 for Rob Mack and then 106.40 for Christopher. So he is ahead on time.
Well, these two really walking away from the rest of the class. The next competitor, Eric Husted, just over 4 minutes.
Rob Mack is in with a final time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 17 seconds. Christopher Polvardi, 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 5 seconds.
All right, Polvardi accomplished the mission then. He's got 52 seconds to make up on one of the goats
Yeah,
of the industry.
He's going to have to go. We will be live once again at 3 o'clock tomorrow. The unlimited trucks will be starting at 3:30, and we're going to have a battle. We got less than a minute between the first and second. Got third place not too far behind them. Let's see who can do it tomorrow. So come back at 3 o'clock tomorrow, and we will see you guys then.
So that's how things went down just one day ago as we were ready to kick off the second and final day here at Laughlin, the Battlegrounds, the VT Construction Battlegrounds. So looking forward here, and the trucks are getting out there on the starting line, and Dodge is working his way over there as well. We'll check in with a couple of the trucks before we get things going. In the meantime, Fish, fill us in on the app here and what people need to know.
All right, so hopefully everybody went out there and downloaded it. So once you download the Racing Redefined app, here's what you do. You click on the tracker down at the bottom down there, and then when you go to the tracker screen, in the top left where the little person is, click on that, and then go to Search Participants and type in truck, and you will see a bunch of people that come up under the truck. There it is, TRUCK. See all these? This will be a plus sign over here. You need to click plus on everybody that you want to add to the map. So once you scroll through and you add everybody in there, then once they're in there, they will be on your map. So once they get started, you will see them. So if you just downloaded this and you don't see anybody yet, make sure you add everybody in there. Once you do that, you can go to the leaders tab. You will see the race mile right here. And once they clear it, we will get split times, and you can watch the split times, or you can go over and you can look at the actual map once it starts. That's it. Simple as that.
Great stuff. It's amazing what the technology has done here and the ability for people to follow along in the desert. It's always been such a tough atmosphere to bring to the fans, and now technology is allowing us to do a much better job of that. Obviously, the Starstream Pro able to go inside of the vehicles now. Let's talk about that a little bit. We're going to fill here just a little bit, but let's talk about that technology that goes right on top of the truck.
Yep, you can bolt it right on top. George and the guys have created this awesome package that I've actually been running in my car as well. And I think one of the best things about it is your family can watch from home too. So everybody can tune in. It can go out to the live stream going on at the races, and your pit crew knows what's happening before you could even tell them usually.
It's incredible for sure. We'll be keeping an eye on that all day long as well. So Dodge Fullman is over there at the starting line with some of our drivers. Let's get it over there to him. Hopefully he's caught his breath.
What is up, you guys? We're down here on the grid, and we got all the best drivers lined up. We talked to them yesterday, caught up with them about their race. On the front, we have the experienced and the legend. Christopher Polvorty. Now we're going to come over here, and we're going to catch up with Rob McCachran here. These guys are here to meet with them. Lots of camaraderie here. Now, we know you're a legend in the sport. You got more experience than maybe anyone out here on the grid. What is going to be your strategy today against Christopher Polvorty?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we had a really good run in the truck. Got to thank Kevin McGilvery, everybody, ID Designs, BF Goodrich, Fox, everybody. Truck ran good. We, got to get out front early. Jack Oligas had a problem on lap 2, so we ran dust-free pretty much until we started catching lappers. The plan for today is try to get Christopher in his all-wheel drive truck, try to get him right here on the start line, and then we can maintain the gap that we have built up from yesterday. But we'll see. I've driven all-wheel drive trucks too, so I know how quick they are off the start. If he gets me, then I'm going to try to do everything I can to possibly just hang with him and get him on time. So it's definitely going to be fun. Christopher's a young gun. I watched him. I know he works really hard at this. He's definitely a student of the sport, and it'd be great to do battle with him.
Yeah, well, there's going to be a lot of strategy. It looks like you have about 45 somewhat seconds on him going into this. So even if he beats you off the line, if you stay within that minute, you got him on time. So we're going to actually go catch up with him. Thank you so much. Good luck. You guys take care of this guy, all right? He's a living legend. Now we're going to jump over here, and we're going to catch up with Christopher Polvorty. He's definitely a fan favorite, good friend of mine. The cowboy hats may give it away. We just caught up with the legend next door. What are your thoughts on taking on someone who we've known and raced against for a long time?
Oh, yeah, it's exciting. It's always fun to line next to the GOAT, Rob, but it should be a fun race. He's got me on time right now, so I got to put the hammer down.
Yeah, we were just talking to him. Sounds like he's got about 45, 50 seconds on you. So if you can get out in front here, you think you're going to get him off the start?
I'd like to think so, yeah.
Dude, that makes two of us. I'll tell you what. You got a lot of big guys behind you as well. So the competition here is going to be absolutely stacked. So we're going to cut back to you guys on the start line. Good luck to you. All right, this is the Optima man. the cowboy hat, says it all. Good friend of mine. Thank you, Christopher. We'll catch up with you later. Now, these guys back here, they like to get ready a little bit earlier than the rest, right? Everyone has their different starting strategies. They like to be out of the car. They like to be relaxed. They like to be loose. Some of these guys, they like to be helmeted up early. You guys just give us away from inside the truck right there. These guys, we caught up with them yesterday. They were 3rd place. You can see their truck has definitely seen better days. I'm sure it's also seen worse. And I talked to him yesterday. It seems like the truck's in great condition. Yeah, thumbs up from those guys. The truck's in great condition, and they're ready to run down these front 2 guys. One great thing about racing out here is that, you know, it's a timed race. So really anything can happen out here on the grid, and everything can change in an instant. For example, Jack Olegas, who started on top of the box yesterday, started pole position, had an engine failure, and his dad, this is a father-son racing team, his dad is now letting him step into his truck, and that's Jack Olegas starting back there in that black and gold Fox truck. Now, we're going to throw it back up to the guys here in the studio as things start to kick off here. They're actually going to kick all people off of the starting grid. So, you know, up there, up in the booth, are you guys ready to go back? All right, we're going to toss it back up there to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Dodge. Yeah, that was Scott Scavassa that had a great run. Here's a look at how they finished up. You can see Scott's name there in 3rd place. Long-time racer, a lot of experience as you take a look at how they broke things down just one day ago.
Yeah, I mean, we got 48 seconds there between 1st and 2nd. So that means that, you know, Christopher, he's got to get 48 seconds, you know, Rob has there to play with. So we're going to have to see what happens today. But I don't know. Anything can happen. You have to make 6 laps around this 15-mile course, and it is torn up.
I truly think that Rob's going to just try to follow right behind his dust cloud all day.
Yeah, that's the easy strategy, right?
Yep. Not push too hard, let Chris dictate the pace.
So we were kind of talking about that off mic just a moment ago, and you brought up a great point, the difference in the 2 trucks, one being all-wheel drive, one being 2-wheel drive. I'm going to throw 2 other numbers at you as well. They're going to invert as well. One is 4.2. Inverted is 2.4. 4.2 is Rob McCachran's years of racing and experience. 2.4 is how old Christopher Pulvorti is.
There we go.
It's pretty amazing when you take a look at the 2 right there. But I agree with you guys, and I think certainly that McCachran alluded to the fact that that all-wheel drive truck is probably going to have the advantage there at the starting line. He'll have to tuck in. But with that said, it was Rob McCachran who said the dust was the worst he had ever seen. My guess is that he can remember, but I mean, that's making a massive statement about how brutal it was. So I'm sure he doesn't want to have to fall in behind him, but let me ask you guys, if he does fall in behind, is the goal to stay right on the bumper so you can stay ahead of that dust, or is he going to have to fall back and get behind the dust?
I mean, he's just going to sit right behind the dust. You don't want to sit right in the dust and risk, you know, hitting a rock and getting a flat or something like that, and then your 48 seconds is gone real quick. So I think Rob's smart enough to know he's just going to sit. You know, there is quite a bit of wind here today, so even if it is dusty, he will be able to sit behind the dust and not be 48 seconds behind. He could be like 15 seconds behind or so.
So let me clarify the question, because in an interview with Rob McCachran earlier in the weekend, he said if you get close enough, you can see the truck and you're just out of the dust, but you're so close to the guy in front of you. Is it an option to run there, or is it just too close?
Oh, that would be tough. I mean, you got to be within, you know, a couple hundred, maybe 100 feet at that point. I don't know if Rob will be able to hang with Christopher just in the difference of trucks at that point. Anything can happen, but Christopher's going to have clean air at least for the first lap. The other thing that you have to remember here, there's more than just them out on the track. We have a lot of cars on the track today, including some Class 1 cars that are mixed in this heat that you can see there. So they're only going to have clean air for the first lap, and then they're going to actually start catching some of these guys going into the 2nd and 3rd lap, and then they have to deal with lap traffic. So then you have a whole new thing that comes into play.
In an interview with a number of the drivers going back to Thursday, I found it interesting. I was asking the guys how they deal with the dust and driving in it. Obviously, if you're in the dust, you know you're catching somebody in front of you. And everybody kind of broke it down about the same with the exception of Rob. He added in a couple things that other people were not doing, but one of them was he broke the dust down. When you first get into it, you're 30 to 40 seconds back. When you get in the middle of it, you're about 20 seconds behind the guy. And then whenever you get just out of it, you can see the back of that truck. You're about 10 seconds away. So it was pretty impressive to hear how he broke everything down. He knows exactly where he's at all the time. Okay, we're going to focus in on one of the toughest areas of the track.
We're standing here in the middle of the Fox Proving Grounds. Now we call it the Fox Testing Grounds because this is where suspension is put to the test. You can see here that these holes are 2, 3, and sometimes even 4 feet deep, and these trucks are not slowing down. We're expected to see speeds upwards of 60, 70, or 80 miles an hour. Now I have a bone stock Ford F-150 here going through the bumps, and you can see that 10 miles an hour is actually pretty intense inside of this truck. I mean, we're going 8, 9 miles an hour, and I think if I go any faster, we're either gonna break the bumper off the front of this thing or damage the hitch on the back. And the hard part about driving through these is the inconsistency, right? So you have 2 4-foot holes and then a 2-foot hole and then a 5-foot hole. And it kind of throws the truck all out of whack, makes it so you gotta be extremely, extremely fast and you know, quick reactions. Otherwise you can get into a really hairy position really quick.
So good info there once again from Dodge, and that's the area that we were talking about before, Robert, and riding through there in the side-by-side, which I was in a Polaris Pro R, blown away at how easily and how comfortable that car was to drive through there. But man, I'm telling you right now, it's for real. That area is legit.
Yeah, it's some of the biggest holes at one of the casino races, as I call them, that they have out here, because most of the time they're usually pretty smooth, pretty bladed, fast, fun stuff. But the Fox Shocks Proving Grounds is definitely on a different level. None of the holes are the same size. They're off camber. There's different distances. I know some of these unlimited trucks will get right up on top of them and kind of just skip over the top. But at the end of them, there's some giant holes that nobody skips over. So.
Yeah, and chatting again with McCachran, I'm going to revert back to that info all the time here today, but he said as they go on, obviously day 2, it's going to be a little bit rougher than it was day 1, but he said they'll start falling to the bottom. You'll have to go a little bit slower because you can't run the tops anymore because it's become rougher. He said, and then the rear tires fall down to the bottom, kick more dirt up to the top, and it just continues to get worse.
Yep, just keeps digging the holes out bigger and bigger and bigger. And these trucks, believe it or not, do need to stay up on top of them. No matter what truck you're in, if you're hitting the bottom of every hole, it's working way too hard. It's way easier on the trucks to stay up on top.
All right, guys, Fish, take us here. We're looking inside of these cockpits.
Yeah.
Great shots here. Talk to us about some of the equipment we're seeing.
So this is a pretty cool shot right here because look at that. You can see both trucks lined up. You see Christopher and Mike Kim there putting their equipment on, getting their helmets strapped on, putting his visor down. And this is one of the views we're going to have today, hopefully live all day today. Yesterday, Rob Mack's Starlink actually flew off of his roof, and that's why we lost his in-car halfway through. They bolted it on today, and they're hoping it's going to hang on today. So as long as the Starlink stays on the roof, we should have good coverage here throughout the day.
That is Rob McCachran lined up on the Optima Batteries yellow lane, if you will. The red top over there on the other side, that is Christopher Polvordi. We are ready to get things going here. Day 2 of the Legacy Off-Road Racing Association VT Construction Battlegrounds. 2 of the absolute best are lining up here to kick off day number 2. First and second place from day number 1. Exciting stuff here. 2 great drivers. Big difference in trucks here as well. We'll find out how the master negotiates what he's going to do, dictates this situation here. Can he try to stay in front of the kid? Will Christopher go out and get a little anxious in the first turn? Maybe attack it too hard? Does it open up the door for Rob McCachran to take that lead? Of course, if he can get in front of him and get that clean air, it is so important. As you can also see, that starting line is groomed beautifully.
And Rob actually has the inside line. So he's going to have the inside line going into the first turn, which if Chris doesn't get the jump on him, he's going to take advantage of that and try and keep him behind him.
Yeah, yesterday when Christopher went off the line, we saw he got a little out of control. So
yes,
he's going to want to tame it down a little bit compared to yesterday. He hit some of the berms and he was up on 2 wheels a couple times. So we'll see if he does that again or if he's going to be a little bit smoother today.
Yeah, hopefully he keeps it a little bit smoother. It's a long race. He's still got 6 laps to go.
They transfer so much weight too when they take off. I mean, it's just amazing how much these things squat and transfer that weight to try and grip up those tires.
Yep.
In Rob McCachran's case.
Looks like we're about a minute out from start, maybe a little less. So we should be watching these guys launch off here any second now.
So it could be quite a battle between these two. And as you were talking about before, Fish, if he gets just out of that dust, he'll rely on that wind. If the wind's blowing it out, he can stay a little bit closer, hopefully. But if you had to call it truck to truck, you would say the Pulvordes has the advantage, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. They are off the line.
Pulvorde's all-wheel drive definitely pulled him a little bit there.
He's looking smoother so far. He's
Rob
smoother than he was
McEachran right
yesterday.
there.
Yep.
That shorter line, that little inside shorter line, but you can see where that grip is coming back now to Christopher Pulvorde. He's going to take over the position here easily. No problems whatsoever. So we are off and running at the VT Construction Battlegrounds here in Laughlin, Nevada.
We're on board here with Rob Mack as he's chasing down Christopher. Yeah, Chris is gapping him with that all-wheel drive, and you can already see the dust. The wind isn't blowing as hard out there as it is for us over here at the booth. You can't see 20 feet right now.
Yeah, and some of the tricks that Rob McEachran said that he uses, actually a lot of the drivers.
Oh, we actually have in-car audio
Yeah,
for
we're
Rob's
listening
truck
in,
today.
yep.
6 or 7. Okay,
you're at 6.
Great info, but some of the tricks of the traders, if you will, as we watch the next pairing go off here, is they can feel the ruts. He said he'll actually loosen his grip up on the steering wheel so that he can feel the ruts when he's in the dust and kind of guide the truck. They look for the bushes off to the side. They look down to the left as well as this next pair gets going. So Scavesa there will have to fall in line behind the Class 1 car.
That would be Sean Gilbert of VT Construction, title sponsor of the Battleground this weekend.
Yeah, and that's what we said earlier. You know, those Class 1 cars, they're going to come into play. He's not necessarily racing that car. You know, they're in a separate class, but he did just start next to him. And he's trying to hold on to that third position by the 2 seconds that he is ahead of these guys here.
Dustin Miller in the number 51 truck trying to get the spot right there. Qualified 13th, finished up 8th one day ago, so had a nice run.
We're back on. This
Dustin Miller there.
looks like the wrong title at the bottom there. That is Sterling Miller.
Okay, Sterling Miller.
One of the Millers.
Yeah, close enough, right? The number 86 there. Silver Spur Racing, black and gold truck.
Yeah, he was sitting in the 8th position overall yesterday. Looked like about 5th in his class.
Yeah, qualified 9th, so had a good run there from that 9th hole to get up there and finish in the top 5 one day ago.
One thing I noticed, he has that clear plexiglass little windshield in that truck. I don't notice anybody else with that. We watch John Vanderway and Jeff Carey get off to the start here. John in the number 84, the old Got Milk truck.
The Flying Dutchman team.
Where are they based out of?
The Flying Dutchman team is based out of the Phoenix, Arizona area.
Okay.
Brothers John, Nick, Larry, and Mike all make up the Flying Dutchman racing team. Been doing it for over 35 years.
You can't miss that truck. It looks like a cow. We're on board with Sterling Miller as he starts out onto the course.
Let's go over and we're going to take a look at our splits on the left right here. So you can see Christopher Pulvardi at race mile 2 had a 10-second lead over Rob McEachran. So 10 seconds is the difference at race mile 2.
And he needs to stretch it out to, what was that?
48 seconds. Yeah, he's going to have to beat him by 49 seconds to actually take the win. They're 48 seconds apart.
10 seconds in the first couple of miles. I mean, that's a big stretch already.
Yeah.
That might be that dust gap that we were talking
right.
about.
Exactly. I expect Rob probably to be about 20 to 25 seconds behind him most of the day-to-day. Question will just be if Christopher can pull away from him more than that or not.
We're on board with Sterling Miller, seeing that dust. Man, it might be more than 30 seconds of dust looking at this. The wind seems to be not playing to their advantage out
So if you're watching the tracker today, if you look at the times there, that is the corrected time for the day. So you can see Corey Kieser there was actually faster than Rob McEachran to race mile 2. That's why it's showing him in second. That is just for today's times. Keep in mind this is a combined race, so we will have to combine this with yesterday's to get the official results.
Yeah, that's great info.
He was almost 5 minutes back yesterday, so. We're watching Kit Stokes getting off the line here. Can't tell who he's next to.
Oh, Kit Stokes unfortunately broke a sway bar, I believe it was, in qualifying, and then they kicked a belt off yesterday as well, and the whole front of those engines protected. So when you kick a belt off, and he felt like it was probably because of sand, It is a ton of work to get that truck back together.
Yeah, it's not a fast belt change on that because the engine's located behind you.
Yep.
It's actually behind the cab in that truck.
It's mid-engine, and it is not fun because there's a lot of panels over it in his.
Initially, they wanted to put Stephanie in as the co-driver. By the way, those two met at a Lucas Oil Short Course off-road race in Las Vegas back a number of years ago before they got married. And great to see them out here as well doing what they do. But she was scheduled to hop in the right seat and run this race with him. But after a tough qualifying situation, they changed their minds there. Didn't want to put her in there knowing how difficult it was going to be here in the dust.
Yep, she was a little bit apprehensive calling the turns properly, so put somebody with a little bit more experience in there, but the more they get her in that truck, the more I'm sure she'll.
All right, here we go. Race mile 4. We have Christopher Pulvardi with a 22-second lead. So I think this is about what we're going to see unless he can put some time on him. So we'll see. He just went through race mile 6. So if you're using the app, it'll automatically update to the next race mile that they go through. So you see Christopher's through 6. We don't see Rob through there yet. Give it about 22 seconds or so, and we should see Rob pop up on the screen with the latest split at race mile 6.
We're watching the overhead with Chris going through the Fox Shocks Proving Grounds. Getting ready to drop into the big basin here. He's going to make a 180 right downhill.
There you go, 25 seconds at race mile 6. So he gained 3 seconds there between 4 and 6.
So he's definitely gapping on him.
Yeah, if he can keep this pace up, he will make the gap. But I think, like we said, Rob's just going to sit behind the dust.
Although we have not seen him yet come out of the Fox Proving Grounds. As Chris is already dropping in, and oh, there's Rob coming at us right now.
Yeah, so clearly dust is not a factor for Rob right there.
He is in none.
Yeah, Christopher's he has no option today except to drive as hard as he can. Rob has the option to kind of see what the time splits are to know how fast he has to drive.
We're watching Kit navigate his way through the course.
There we go. We're back on board with Rob McCachran. Here's his audio. Let's listen in for a bit.
This is working their way out of the water retention basin there.
Boy, absolutely great footage, and to listen in as well is certainly very cool. I want to touch on these trucks a little bit. You guys know a lot more about them than I do, but 95 to 115 gallons of fuel is what these things are capable of holding. We're going to run about 87 miles here today. Say it like San Felipe, where the loam and the track is very heavy and rough. They get about 1.5 miles to the gallon here, probably 1.7 to 2.5. Point is, there will be no fuel stops here today.
No, sir. And they're going to run it a little bit lighter on purpose. So if they needed, say, 1.75, they'd probably run 50, 60 gallons in it.
Yeah, very interesting. And you bring that up, lightening up the trucks. Two-wheel drive trucks, somewhere between 6,000, 6,500 pounds. All-wheel drive, 7,000 to 7,500 pounds. Heavy trucks.
Yep, Chris's truck is very heavy compared to Rob's.
Oh, here's a look with Jack Olegas. So he had to start a little farther back today. Remember, he was our #1 qualifier, so Jack is very fast. He's going to be working his way through the field today. He's driving his dad's truck, so not the same truck that he qualified first in, but it's very similar. So I'd expect to make Jack to make a lot of passes today.
Behind one of our buggies right now.
Oh, there you go. Give it a
nerve right there.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
He's getting ready to go into the Fox Proving Ground, so he's going to blow right around that guy in the rough.
Oh, he's trying to get around him. There he goes. He pulled over for him.
And so I heard this truck had an issue one day ago as well in the last lap. Do you guys know what happened?
Yes, I think it was the steering. I think. It was either that one or a different one.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because they brought it in with the loader with the rear tires off the ground. Like maybe it locked up a third member or something.
Yeah, so speaking of third member, the truck that Rob McCachran is driving, remember yesterday when he finished, they had no reverse gear. They actually had to push him in reverse here.
Oh, he's pulling over right now.
Oh.
Yeah, it sounded like he lost driveline. I don't know if you guys heard or not. It sounded like it freed up and the motor went up and had no load on it.
Wonder if he just tossed a drive shaft.
Man, threw that really, it was a really big hole that he hit really hard as well. And I agree with you. I mean, I wonder if just something traveled a little bit too far.
And it's never good when Jack's getting out. Can't say that enough.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, typically the co-driver would hop out and fix if they thought it was something that could be fixed quickly and get back in. But
going up front.
And looking at our timers there, look at it, 37 seconds Christopher has on Rob Mack so far at race mile 10. So he is gaining still. We'll see, does he keep gaining or not?
11 more, right?
About 10 seconds. Yeah, about 10 seconds away from taking the overall lead.
Yep.
Yep, Jack's body language says he's not happy.
Well, it's so frustrating. You guys know it all too well. So much work and time dedicated to these machines, and to go out and have a failure on lap 1, it is tough. We had a chance to talk to both Jack and Steve a little bit earlier in the weekend, so let's listen in to the father and son duo.
I've been racing for a long time off-road, probably too long, but just something I love, and I've probably been doing this about 35, 40 years, and just
when I was 11, I grew up going to all the races with my dad, fell in love with it from the beginning, begged my dad to race for years and years and years.
his first race ever was Parker a year ago, over a year, and so he's really good at qualifying, he's really good at racing, he's done a fantastic job, he's won the championship last year in an unlimited truck in Legacy.
Winning the championship my first year in unlimited truck was, it was awesome. It was a dream come true. Always dreamed about running a #1 plate on the side of my unlimited truck, so it was definitely a super cool experience and not something that I was expecting to come so soon, but I'm super excited and grateful for this opportunity, and it's cool to be out here with the truck that everyone wants to beat.
2 trucks last race, and that part gets tough. You know, the trailers are getting bigger, and the more people bringing it out, and you know, that part is just something goes along with it, but it sure is fun, and you know, we love hanging out.
Yeah, in my head, I definitely want to go 100% both days, but after talking to my dad and Rob McCachran and these other guys, I know I should probably drive 85% day 1, and then, you know, how we end after day 1 is going to obviously depend how we drive day 2, but, you know, if we're still in the lead after day 1, we'll see by how much. We'll tone it back a little and play it by ear throughout that day 2 race.
And so he's really coming to his own and doing a fantastic job, and I couldn't be more proud of him, and, you know, just he's a really focused kid and does well. Plus, he still does well in school and does all this stuff we ask of him. Yeah, so I worry about him because, you know, you want to make sure your son's okay. Like yesterday, I was late getting into my truck for qualifying because I'm kind of interested in watching him.
Yeah, I think definitely being young, I try to prove myself out there. Everyone looks at me as a kid still, which I don't blame them. But I have been racing for a few years now, and I do have a little bit of experience to me. These older guys out here definitely do have an advantage when it comes to knowing what paces to run and just being smart on course that I still have to grow and learn. But being young, I can either be a wild card or I can be there for the finish. It's just kind of depends how I drive that day.
And that is Paul Vorey making his way down here. And Robert, you said he's taking the Joker lap right off the bat.
Yep, so he just took the Joker lap 1. He's got a big enough gap on Rob. He went for it lap 1.
So in the middle of that interview, if you fans were watching there at home as we watched the leader, and I think Fish checking in right now, we'll find out if in fact maybe he's taken overall lead, but we'll let you know on that. We know he was very close. He was within 10 seconds of that just a little bit ago. But if you saw in the background behind that great interview between Steve, the father, and Jack, the son, the oligarchs, if you will. It was great information. Unfortunately, they are out here early today on lap 1. Steve handed the truck over to his son Jack, and unfortunately that one broke. And then we also saw where Kit Stokes had pulled over to the side as well. So some attrition here early on at day number 2.
Yep, Kit's wife texted me. It sounds like they are having serpentine belt issues again.
Oh, man.
And then I know we see it on the live stream, but Rob Mack did not take his Joker lap 1. So he just made up about 15 seconds on him by opting out of it.
Got you that. So stay within reach, and smart move. That was something that Rob McCachran said that they were going to do. He said it really brought in a special element to this race, and they thought about parking a spotter there to keep track of who had and who hadn't taken the Joker lane so that they could make a strategy based on what they knew and what the time was. So I found it very interesting, but that's the way a brilliant mind thinks. You use every possible aspect and try to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they are incredibly on top of it. They're gaming the whole race. They're planning their different changes. They are non-stop, figuring out the ways to be the smartest that they can be and take advantage of people doing different things.
Yeah, he's relentless. That's why he is who he is. As Corey Kazar comes on here out of Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Sounds like Olegas had transmission issues.
All right, so at the end of lap 1, we do have lap times. So we have Christopher Polvardi did a 12-minute and 44-second lap 1. Rob McCachran did a 13-minute and 30-second lap 1. So that is the difference between the two of them right now. It's about 45 seconds there. And you did say that Christopher took his Joker lap, right?
Yes, sir.
He did.
Chris took his Joker and Rob did not. Once again, Jack had transmission issues, so that must be what's taking him out today.
Scott Scavassa there as you take a look at the number 45, the SS Unlimited truck. What a beautiful piece of equipment that is. Qualified fifth, finished third 1 day ago. Racer engineering machine.
Beautiful truck. I like the gold flake on the side there. I'm a fan of that.
Saw a look a little bit earlier of Corey Kazar as well in the number 20 truck. The TSCO out of El Cajon, California, won the season opener at Parker Dam. Qualified 7th, finished up 4th here as we go on board, 4th 1 day ago as we go on board with Rob Mack.
The number 56 driver of record of Kevin McGilvery.
All right, there we go. So 34 seconds is the split between them at the last checkpoint they went through. So 34 seconds Christopher Polvardi has over Rob McCachran right now. He's going to need to get it up to 48 seconds, though, if he wants to take the win.
Greg Adler there in the number 65 truck. Off-Road Warehouse sponsored machine. Of course, he is the president, CEO of that, and just took back over the four-wheel drive stores as well. Big deal that they just did. I believe some 40-plus stores that will come back in under the umbrella. Of course, he was the man that was responsible for that company being very successful initially. And from what we're hearing, Dodge has some more for us down there in the pits. Dodge, take it away, bud.
All right, we're here in the hot pits. Things are getting absolutely wild out here. Now, the hot pit, the reason we call it a hot pit is because it's not like any ordinary pit. This is where it's an optional pull-off. It's a 25-mile-an-hour pit. You can see these guys are cruising by here well over 25. That's because they're not stopping. There's no issues with these cars. Now, seeing as this is a shorter race, it's 90 miles, 6 laps, if somebody pulls into the pit, things are not going well. You know, if they're fighting for a second or third or fourth or even a first position, pulling into the hot pits means there's something so wrong that they need to stop, and they'll probably lose that position. Now, we don't need it to in here because nobody's having those big issues. We did see Jack Olegas is out there, and that's so unfortunate. If he is able to make it back into the pits, I'm sure that he'll stop here and his team will help him. But we're going to cut back up to the studio, and next time you come back to me, I'm going to be heading over into the big corner here that's right coming into the infield. We're going to see who comes through first, and you can see that on your tracker on Racing Redefined, but back here into the hot pits in a minute. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks a lot, Dodge. Nice job, brother. Corey Kazar here one more time as we were talking about him before. Inspired by the Iron Man, Ivan Stewart. Approximately 25 podium finishes going back into his motorcycle classes. Has also run Class 10, Class 1, Unlimiteds, of course, as you see here. Multiple score and Best in the Desert championships in motorcycle Class 1. I mean, the guy's been doing it for a long time, and look at these trucks dance through the proving grounds.
And he is still gaining time. Look at this. He is up to 44 seconds now. So Christopher Polvardi only 4 seconds out of the combined lead right now.
And there is no dust, so Rob isn't having dust issues.
No.
It's clearing off the course perfectly right there.
And this kind of makes sense. I mean, that truck, you know, Rob McCachran is the GOAT, right? But it's not quite the same. It's not a level playing field with the trucks, obviously, between the two. So this is not unexpected what we're seeing right now.
I believe that was Larry
99.
Trim.
Yep, that's Larry Trim and John Koth.
Looked like he got into that bull turn a little bit hot and had to counter steer, went back up over the top of the berm, and had to run around the outside of it.
So that was the Joker lane turn, so maybe he just wasn't used to it.
46 seconds. He just gained another 2. Look at that. Race mile 20. We have 46 seconds now between Christopher Polvardi. He just has to get to that 48-second mark. 2 seconds off.
I think he's going to push right past it. He's going to gap as big as he can, I think. Today's his day to shine.
Larry Trim, another sharp guy. 20,000 square foot sheet metal fab shop that's been in business since 1991, called RSI. He's been doing this for a long time as well. Qualified 12th, finished 12th a day ago.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time. He races a lot of different vehicles, everything from Deep Speed to a full-blown unlimited truck.
There's Christopher Polvardi out on course there. He's got the dual star stream going on, or the dual star link on top of his car, so it's always easy to spot that one from up above.
I think it looks cool. That's a flex.
Like racing stripes.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you got 1 Starlink? I raise you. I have 2.
Are those the HP ones too?
I believe they are. Yeah, they look like the high-performance ones.
He posted some stuff, obviously, on social media and gives a nice split-screen post. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. We're
That's
back
a look at your
overhead
second
with Rob
place.
Mack.
Yeah, second place. Rob trying to chase him down.
Well, it's a long race, fellas. I mean, we heard about Steve Ollisgis' truck, breaking on the last lap 1 day ago. I was spotting for a guy on the road course at the Long Beach Grand Prix yesterday. Had a 7.5-second lead, broke in the back straightaway with a lap and a half to go. This stuff is never, ever over until you cross that finish line, man.
Exactly. Desert racing, you never know until you cross the finish line, especially. You can't just coast it into the finish here. You really have to get across that line.
And this is the roughest Laughlin a lot of people said they have ever raced.
Except for the moon bumps. It doesn't go through the moon bumps. I would say if it added those, then it would be.
It's just
I
all
wish
these
it did.
square edges. We're here, and the number 47 of Kit Stokes is out of the race with power steering issues. Tough break for them this weekend.
Yeah, you mentioned that serpentine belt. Sounds like, and who knows? I mean, maybe it's a pulley issue now, or something's out of alignment, and it's just kicking it off. Maybe it's not sand. As we go on board with Greg Adler out of Manhattan Beach, California, longtime short course off-road racer, wins in Pro 2, wins in Pro 4, and has been really killing it out here in the desert for the past few years, especially in the Legends class.
They've been around for a long time.
Very, very talented and shrewd businessman. Not a guy I would want to fight with when it comes to business.
Working his way here.
Great to see him out here. His son Lake as well, also doing some driving now.
Yeah, that was just a good shot of how big the holes are getting in the turns there. They can't just drive through them anymore. There's huge holes that are popping the front and back up.
So looking on our tracker here on the side of your screen, this is cool because you can actually watch them live. You see those dots going around there with the numbers on it? That is them live. So look at that gap that Christopher Polvardi has now pulled on the 56. So the 94 is Christopher Polvardi. The 56 is Rob McCackern. You can see that physical gap is getting bigger on our tracker here.
Yeah, that looks like more than 48 seconds to me.
Yeah, once they come through another
that's a whole
checkpoint
mile
here, we'll try to get another split time for you.
Hey, Robert, let's talk about these trucks here a little bit more as we go back and take a look at this track map. And you can see the marching. I always call them marching ants whenever you go to this. And there's actually a lot of spotters will help out some of these teams on the endurance races based off of what they see off of these marching ants.
Yeah. So as we're watching, I think the two-wheel drive has an advantage down this mile 10 to 11 stretch just because they've got the top speed. But Polvardi doesn't care. He's pulling away today.
Yeah, it's that time coming out of those tight turns, where you get back up to speed where the all-wheel drive is just going to dig. And
so I think the big advantage today is Polvardi is able to stay low in the berms and use the all-wheel drive to pull him out of it, while Rob's having to kind of lean into him. And then if you see some of these in-car shots of how hard they're popping out of the holes on the outside, I think that might be the big advantage today of the all-wheel drive.
I'd be really curious to see what the difference is in wheel horsepower to the two-wheel drive versus the all-wheel drive, and how much loss there is through the drive line with the all-wheel drive. And once again, we're going to get it back over to Dodge. He is busy out there on track here today. Dodge?
The hot pits, here comes Christopher right here. Let's go, baby. Woo! Oh, you can see him tearing it up right there. And we'll just keep a little bit of an internal timer in our mind, start counting right now. Remember, Christopher only needs about a 49-second lead on Rob McEachern in order to win this race. Now, if you're on Racing Redefined, you're a little bit confused. You got Christopher in first, and you got Kevin McGilvery.
All right, so that's a look at Christopher Polvardi here going through the hot pits. You can see if you take the hot pits, you have to take the left lane and come down to a speed limit through there. You stay in the right lane if you're not coming in there, and you blow right past it.
We're watching the number 99 of Larry Trim and John Koth working their way up at Road Crossing 1. Looks like probably about 100 miles an hour, give or take. Nice little pop there. What were they clocking them at yesterday?
I think it was 102?
102,
103, something like that. Yeah.
That was for Chris and Rob, right?
Yeah, they were both at the same. I think they were both 102, actually. They were both the same speed.
That's impressive to be to a mile an hour the same.
Yeah. Now, this is where you really see the difference in the all-wheel drive is through the infield here. Coming out of the corners, this thing picks up so much speed faster than the two-wheel drive. Two-wheel drive comes in, you kind of get a little squirrely. You really got to ride it through the berm. All-wheel drive, you just get back on the gas and it gets going.
Just digs out of the turn so hard.
Yeah, that front end will just dig it out. You're right. I mean, just tugs it out.
They're going through the timing loop right there. So that's actually the start-finish line. That little orange Legacy trailer there.
Talk about some of the technology that's been incorporated into the all-wheel drive truck, because they had to come a long ways with that, and certainly one of those aspects is to keep the wheel travel to fall out whenever they went to the front-wheel drive, and they've got the portals on them, I believe is what they're referred to, but the gears are actually located out by the wheels. Is that correct?
Yep, so they kind of underdrive it through the portal so they can run a smaller axle so it's not taking as much of the load, which is also one of the parts that I was always worried about when they started racing these things, but they seem to have had no issues with that. The issues that those trucks every once in a while have is the front diff, from what I've seen at least.
But very impressive to maintain that all-important wheel travel that these trucks need, and of course, take advantage of that all-wheel drive system.
Yep. They keep the axle up nice and high so it's not seeing extreme CV angle, doing the gears in the portal there.
Yeah, Christopher's actually put a really big gap on Rob here. This has been, I wonder if Rob's had some kind of issue. It looks like on the tracker there, he's actually stopped almost. That is correct. See the 56 there?
Yep, Rob is stopped.
It is not moving. So Rob Mack may have an issue here. If our tracker's correct, which it looks like everybody else is still working, it looks like Rob Mack is there. And we have not seen him in the infield yet, either here physically in front of us.
Yeah, I never saw him come by either. I saw a Class 1 car come by before he did, so.
Yeah, so the 56 looks like they may have a problem. Yesterday, they did lose a...
This is on board with him.
Here we go.
They are both out of the truck. That's not good.
That is not good. All right, well, our race turned into a one-truck race. Christopher Polvardi pretty much has to make it to the finish line at this point.
Looking in the door bag for something. Oh, he's grabbing a belt. That's a small belt. Maybe dry sump belt?
I don't know why they'd be going to the... Yeah, they could be. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's not going to be a quick change no matter what it is, so...
Nope.
Christopher Polvardi is going to be your leader now. Doesn't have to worry about Rob. He could go a little bit slower. Now the question comes into play, who's going to be second place now?
Yep.
We might have a different
Chris's
second
race
place.
to lose at this point.
Yeah, Scavasa was getting around there pretty good, Scavasa. So
Yes.
We'll see if Scott can hang in there. This might be a great day for Scott if he can keep up pace there with the number 45 truck.
Now on time, starting this lap, we had Polvardi, McGilvery, and Drew Wentz and Corey Kaiser. So those guys are pushing kind of hard from the back a little bit to make up some time. So they might not be ahead physically, but they're pushing.
One of the trucks that struggled a day ago, he qualified fourth, finished up in 10th, was Eric Husted, the most decorated driver here in the Legacy Series with 10 wins, 14 podiums, 17 top fives. Of course, he's also won a couple of championships as well. Never finished worse than third in the points in this category, but struggled a little bit one day ago.
Yep, we actually just watched him go by on the trailer, so he's not even racing today, which I thought they had gotten the truck fixed last night and we're going to be back out there. So bummer deal for those guys, defending champion.
Speaking of Scott Scavasa, we had a look at him. There's a look at McEachern's truck, the Kevin McGilvery truck, and both guys up there working on it.
That's definitely a belt with what they're doing there.
Yeah, they got the hood off in there. Well, what a bummer for Rob Mack. They had a good run going. Yesterday, like we said, they lost reverse in that truck. They actually changed the transmission, the drive shaft, and the rear end yesterday in that truck, the third member. They changed all of it for today, and it looks like it's a different problem today. Definitely not anything with the drivetrain down there today.
Nope, something different.
Let's see the 45 trucks coming through the infield here, so they should be coming in. I think that's going to be our second place truck now, right?
Correct, and he just took the Joker, so he doesn't have to do it. We never saw Rob hit it yet either, so if he gets back going again, he still needs to go through there.
And Pavourdy with his out of the way. A couple of them taking two different lines right there.
That Corey there, I think, coming in next to him, huh?
Corey Kazar right behind Scavasa.
Yep, and on time, they are banging. So starting this lap, Corey Kaiser is in second, and Scavasa is in third. So this is a physical battle for second place.
Corey right there beside him. He's going to make a pass, a little bit of contact.
Oh, getting sideways
These
going
guys
over
are
that.
fighting for it.
No!
One of them goes for a ride.
Oh,
Kaiser goes over in the turn.
contact, sent him sideways.
Corey Kazar goes for a big ride, a barrel roll there, a little bit of contact off the face of the jump. I thought there was enough room for both of them, but then they got in there in that loam and clearly bit the right side of that truck and sent him for a ride.
Oh man, that was kind of a racing incident right there. They were both going for the same lane. Just the corner tightened up a little bit on him there.
Corey wanted it bad. He wasn't giving up because if it was me, I would have dropped back in and not ridden the left side there. How it kind of popped him up over into him.
It's one of those moments, I think, where he was closing. He had such momentum, and I think he must have just felt like it's now or never, man. I mean, I've got him. I'm up beside him. He knows I'm here. Let's just make this happen.
Well, this is good to see. They're both getting out of the truck.
Yep.
One of them's out of the truck. The other one's not trying to wave anybody down.
Absolutely
Getting out on their own. This is good to see here. Trucks can always be fixed.
Yep.
And that happens. That is racing. That is closed, or not closed course. That is like short course racing right there.
There's Rescue Dave pulling up.
And the motorsports safety crew always does a great job. Best guys in the business. They're on scene. What was that? They're there in about 20 seconds from the time they crashed to a rescue truck there. So great job to them.
Almost wonder if I know it was a big hit and a violent rollover, but these trucks are pretty tough. I mean, I wonder if it could continue on.
Well, they're going to flip it over, and if it can go, they're going to get going again. Just got to check and make sure none of the fuel lines got ripped off the back, nothing's leaking out of it. If so, get in and go.
Like we got a drone shot and on board of McCachran getting his truck fixed up. I wonder if we can get some more info on what exactly is going on here from somebody.
See if Dodge can run out there real quick.
Yeah, start running.
Yeah, it's not far off the road crossing. He might be winded after about 100 yards, though.
Yeah.
It is hot. He's from Utah, so it was probably cold.
Yeah.
Big temp change for him.
All right, so they got it back over on the wheels. Now the question is, are they going to keep going or not?
I see a helmet Hans off of
Let's see.
one of them,
Body
both of
language
them now,
says no.
I would say no.
Looking like they're
The
not.
back of it looks pretty tore up there.
They're walking around good, though, so that is good to see. I'm glad to see them walking around. They're not even sitting down or anything yet, so it looks like they're both going to be okay. You know, the safety devices that they wear in these trucks nowadays are pretty awesome between all the different type of Hans and Simpson devices and just everything. You're really in that truck pretty solid. And doing a barrel roll is much better than going end over end.
No question.
End over end, you just come to a stop instantly. And they went, we saw them, they went sideways. So at least some of the energy got dissipated.
Exactly right.
A little bit better.
There's Christopher Polvardi. Just has to cruise around the track at this point.
Yeah, Kaiser was his closest guy.
Yeah, I mean he's got Scott there, you know, the 45 there, but he's not gonna put time on Christopher.
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20. It's so easy to say, oh man, if you lay back a little bit, both of you probably with a shot at a podium here, but that's not how these guys are wired. That's not why they're out here. They're out here to beat the other guy and to try and close the gap. And you got to do it as quickly as you can. This is a sprint race. And if he's going to have any shot at Polvardi has some sort of issue, maybe a flat tire, whatever it may be, you got to be charging the entire time. So I don't take anything away from him for going for it. That's why we're out here.
There we go. The truck's moving a little bit of smoke coming out there. That has to be expected. The oil in there. They are towing it, though. I see a rope on the front, so it looks like they are going to call it. And we got Rob McCachran has it was a belt. It was a dry sump belt. So you're right there, Robert. That was a dry sump belt. They're going to try and get it fixed.
There you go. All right. Once again, let's go down and check in with Dodge.
Alrighty, you guys, we're standing here right in front of the infield You guys who have been tuned in here for just over 1 or 2 minutes, you saw that massive rollover way in the back there. You guys were making jokes about me running over there. You're far too kind for thinking that I'm that fit. All right, I'm not running over there to save my life. I'm already sweating enough in this heat. It's 100 degrees outside. And for those of you guys who know the race car world, 100 degrees is a pretty intense temperature for these guys to be running. I saw Rob Mack pull over. I don't know if we've had any more info from him, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's a heat issue. It's much hotter than it was yesterday, and they said that they were already battling heat issues late in the day yesterday, clearing all kinds of alarms, saying we're good enough to go, and they may have pushed it just a hair too far. Now, that rollover way in the back there, it's actually at the very end of the infield. So the cars, they come in, you'll see this orange and blue, this is the zip tie truck right here, cruise by. They enter the Joker lap here, they swivel through a little bit more, and then they're back out, and that truck, it was trying to make it out in front of its buddy right there before he made the rollover. So we're hoping he's okay. We'll check back in when we have more information on that, but we're gonna throw it back up to you guys in the booth. I see you guys got Rob McCachran there, and tell us what you guys are seeing.
Well, for our fans at home, if you haven't put it together yet, Dodge, unfortunately, is not able to hear what we're saying, which is wonderful for us because we can make fun of him pretty much all day long, and he has no rebuttal for that. But we're going to pass a hat around and see if we can't get him some earbuds, and maybe he can tune into the broadcast, and hear what's going on in the future.
Yeah, so if they were able to replace that dry sump belt, they should be able to get that truck started back up and keep going again. I mean, you never know. Like we said, Christopher Polvardi has to make it to the finish line. The race is not over yet, Anything can happen. You have the 45 truck there, you can see. He was 2 minutes and 39 seconds on corrected time behind Polvardi. And then the 84 truck was actually in third place on the day today. He was 4 minutes and 14 seconds behind Christopher Polvardi at our last time split that they went by.
Yeah, and we haven't really focused in on points. It's not what we're doing here today in terms of the championship, but this is a 5-event series, and they are earning points out here. There is a championship at the end of the day, so yeah, you want to get that thing back together if at all possible and see if you can bring it home inside of the top 5 or wherever it ends up.
Yep, every point counts at the end of the year. If you don't, you'll be a little upset that you lost by 3 points. You have a chance to get it going again.
Good look at the number 94 truck here, sponsored by Optima once again. Christopher Polvardi out here making it look easy today. It is anything but.
We're watching an overhead shot that looks like Sterling Miller's truck. I didn't get a chance to catch the livery on the side there, but it looks like his.
At the end of lap 2, Sterling Miller was running in the 4th position, but we saw Corey go for a ride there, so that means that on the day, Sterling Miller was actually going to be bumped up to the 3rd position now on the day.
He's
after
doing
2
good.
laps. Got 4 laps to go. It is a 6-lap race today if you guys just tuned in. Each lap is approximately 15 miles. We did the same thing yesterday, so it was 6 laps of 15 miles each yesterday. You take yesterday's times and today's times, combine them together, and that is your official finishing order.
And both guys did climb back inside of the 56 truck. Of course, Rob Mack, being a team owner for many, many years, knows exactly how expensive these engines are. The first thing he'll do is fire that thing up and see if they have any oil pressure. If it doesn't look right to him, he will not move an inch.
We are watching Sterling Miller work his way out of the detention basin up there at the top of the course. His truck's a little beat up, too. It looks like he went door-to-door with someone.
Silver spur, as it were, for Sterling Marlin and Sterling Marlin.
Little different series.
Yeah. Sterling Miller, my apologies. As we take a look at this track map, as we talked about before, 6 laps here, 14.5 miles to be exact is what they've been coming in at, for a total of 87 miles out here today. But you can see the different trucks and where they're located here on this course.
Yeah, once again, this is the Racing Redefined app. If you're wondering what we're looking at, you can go to the store, the App Store, and you can download Racing Redefined and see the same thing.
I see Rob McCachran moving along the top there again now, so he must be going again.
Perfect, they got it going.
Just
the
got
56 truck, yep.
Yep, just got over road crossing 2 there, about race mile 11.
You can see the 94 truck, Christopher Polvardi, to your far right-hand side. That is over there, very close to where the finish line will be, where the Joker lane is.
Working his way through the infield here. Getting ready to come into this tight left. And look at these holes that are developing in here. Beginning of this day, that was a smooth berm.
Well, that truck sounds so good.
It's one of the nastiest sounding trucks out here.
Oh, man.
There definitely is Rob Mack moving again, so that's good to see. Wonder if they won't have any issues for the rest of this, and he starts charging again.
Sounds like we did get an update that both Corey and his navigator in the 20 that we saw are both okay. They are a little bit angry at themselves and wish that they were a little bit more patient.
That's what I was saying.
So easy to say when you, when you
It's
step
easy to
back and
say
look
now,
at it, right?
Yeah. But
In
good,
the heat
we're
of the
glad to hear
moment.
they're
Seemed like
okay.
it's a hero or zero move. You know, you pulled off. It's like, man, we got a shot at this. Let's go.
I bet you they didn't know they were being watched on the live stream either.
No.
So that was all just ego in the truck.
Yeah,
They definitely.
You never want to wad a truck up, but if you do, it's always a little better to do it on camera because you can at least go back and see what happened, right?
Yep. I've definitely learned that over the years. If you're going to do it, make sure there's a camera around. We jump on board with a pass getting ready to go down here.
Nose to tail here. Looking for a way around. There's a lane to the left.
The left lane's smoother, but it's a little longer. Falls right back in here. Oh, there we go. Got the pass made.
Yeah, hard brake zone right there. Where dampers really come into play because the last thing you want is for those rear tires to chatter.
And speaking of, that's the Miller truck with the live valve Foxes on it. So that's actually a spec truck that he had to race as an unlimited.
So a little bit earlier in the weekend, we got in here on Thursday, got some of the drivers over there to the Harris and had some fun asking them a few fun questions. And actually, it was Rob McCackman that looked at me and said, "That's dumb." But those are my best questions, by the way. So we had some fun with them on Thursday morning. We'll check in and show you some of their answers.
TRX.
Raptor.
F-250 Ford diesel.
Caterpillar tractor.
F-350 Ford pickup truck.
GMC.
Raptor R.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Rob McCackman. We're here at the 2025 Laughlin Legacy Race. I'll be racing the number 56 Unlimited truck.
My name's Kevin McGillivray. I own and drive for this race the 56 ID Designs for Unlimited truck.
My name is Kit Stokes. I'm driver of the number 47 Unlimited truck in the Legacy series.
Burritos, tacos, chicken tacos,
Tacos.
Tacos.
Burritos.
Taco.
Tacos.
Taco.
I'm Stephanie Stokes, the co-driver of the Unlimited number 47.
I'm Christopher Pavordi, driver of the number 94 Ford Raptor Optimum Batteries Unlimited truck.
Mike Kim, navigator for the 94 Optimum Batteries Ford Powered Unlimited truck.
dog, dogs rule,
Dog.
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 Cat.
Dogs.
Dog. I'm Scott Scavassa, driver of the number 45 Racer truck.
Tristan Boos, everyone calls me T-Bird. I am the co-driver for the Unlimited.
win, try harder,
Win.
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 Win or lose.
Get home safe.
Why race?
Win.
Go home pissed off.
Sterling Miller here, driver of the number 86.
Drew Wentz, Unlimited truck, number 87, DW Racing.
I'm Greg Adler, driver of the Unlimited truck number 65.
Ford, and Porsche.
Ford.
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 Ford since 91.
Chevy.
Yeah, Ford.
So some fun there with her. Fun with our drivers there a little bit earlier in the week. Good to have everybody in there and break a couple of smiles along the way. I loved the one question, win or, and Greg Adler said, go home pissed off.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We just watched Rob Mack come through the infield, and he did not joker lane yet again. So he's still got a couple laps to get it done, but has not done it yet.
Looking at our lead truck there, that is Christopher Polvardi. He is in the lead today on the correct time. He is in the lead physical, and he is coming in to finish his third lap. Looks like he came by. His last lap time was a 13:41. So 13 minutes and 41 seconds is faster than a 60-mile-an-hour average, just like we saw yesterday, being a 15-mile lap. So this is a very, very fast track.
Yeah, he's cooking. He was charging early on. I wonder if anybody's told him he's got no competition right now.
Oh, I'm sure they've told him.
Back it down. Make sure you keep that truck together till the checker flag.
Yeah, he's got to just get a finish at this point.
I don't know how much he's backed that thing down. I mean, literally getting air off of the whoops in the middle of that turn.
Yep.
How hard they were pushing down through there. And it also shows you how violent it is.
Well, a lot of times those trucks are not set up to go slower, you know, so when you go slower, it's actually worse. They work worse. It's actually worse on the truck. So you don't want to slow down too much because you might get out of shape and do something dumb, or the truck just isn't working as good.
They kind of get in a rhythm as a driver as well. You know, you want to stay in that.
This is our second place on course truck right now of Sterling Miller, number 86 Silver Spur.
Yep, he just came through. So he, let's see, Christopher is through 3 laps with 39 minutes and 51 seconds, and Sterling Miller is 42 minutes and 59 seconds. So what is that, about a 3-minute gap between them?
Yep, give or take.
For the day win is what we're talking about there, basically.
Yep, not the weekend, because they still got to combine it and do penalties and all that good stuff. We did see some of yesterday.
There was a couple of them. Yeah, let's look at Greg Adler. Both of his views there, thanks to Starstream. We got the in-car view. The in-car view is cool, but then it's the same thing the whole time, right? The in-car view is cool when they stop or if they have a problem. You get to see them and see them getting out and see what's going on inside the truck.
They just went over road crossing 2 there. Sterling, he's shedding body panels fast.
Yeah, that thing is torn up.
Yeah, and I don't think he crashed it, so I think they're just blowing off.
Yeah.
Really shows how deep some of these ruts are. When you lean the truck over into it, dirt can reach out and grab those panels and start ripping them off for you.
His Starlink is still on the roof, though. We see that. That's a good sign.
Greg Adler's floating those little, the power line jumps in the back there. About race mile 12, give or take.
So Christopher Polvardi is on lap 4 of 6 right now, about halfway through the race.
Pounding his way through the Fox Proving Grounds.
What do they do to keep the oils for the dampers cool? I mean, obviously oil coolers, but how big are these things? Where are they located? How important are they? I mean, it's become a big equation here on these trucks. And I know if you're at a San Felipe, let's say, where you've got whoops for miles and miles and miles, it's a bit different than what they'll see here today.
Yep, so they still get them really hot here today. The Fox guys, the Fox Shocks company has a cool cooler setup that it kind of piggybacks off of the reservoir. And some of them come off of like check valves on the side of the bypasses. But it's good for like a 25 to 30 degree difference on those trucks. And it's not a built-in like radiator or nothing on the shock. Or no fan, sorry, I should say. It's just a cooler, like passive setup. The oil flows through. Kind of helps keep them down.
What type of temps will they see?
So everybody plays games with that. They won't say exactly, but we have seen some of these unlimited trucks up in the 450, 500 degree range.
Wow.
Like at a race like San Felipe.
What is the flash point?
It's below that. So you just hope you don't have a flame. But you keep it contained and under that nitrogen pressure. The nitrogen pressure makes a big difference on how fluids work. And
to put that in perspective for the fans at home, you continue to lose viscosity, right?
Yes.
As it gets hotter.
So depending on the shock oil these guys use in their dampers, it's a big difference. The Fox guys have their own proprietary oil that they blend up that really doesn't lose much viscosity at temp. So
interesting.
Yep. It just it thins out a tiny bit, but other stuff comes into play that makes a big difference. So
awesome drone shot right here. Trying to keep pace with that 94 truck, and he gets the hammer down on that 1,000-plus horsepower engine and starts to drive away. But incredible shot there from our drone operators.
We're watching another live valve-equipped Herbst truck come into the infield here. Now, he is taking the Joker.
Yeah, you have to do it one time. If you guys heard us talk about the Joker lap, you get to do it on any lap you want, so it's kind of a strategy that comes into play. You don't want to take it and get passed while you're taking it. It's about 15 to 20 seconds slower going around. So you just take it one time per day.
Yep.
And if you don't take it, what was it, a 15-minute penalty I think that you get?
15-minute penalty, and you can't take it on the last lap because it is after the timing loop.
Did you guys get a delta on that yesterday? McCackman thought it was going to be around a 30-second difference.
Yeah, it wasn't quite that much. It was about 20 seconds from what we were seeing yesterday.
Yep. And I misspoke there. It is after the timing loop, so you have to do it starting your last lap. You can't do it at the end of your last lap.
Correct.
Oh, obviously, as we've been documenting here today, the number 94 truck is out in first place.
Yeah, we have Christopher Polvardi is going to be in first place, having completed 3 laps so far. In second place on the day is going to be Sterling Miller in second place. In third place is going to be Dustin Miller. In 4th place is going to be John Vanderway, and Greg Adler is currently in 5th place. We have 5 cars so far that have completed 3 laps. We have 3 to go.
And that's Rob Mack not at speed there for a little bit. I wonder if he's having more issues.
Yeah,
You know,
trying to limp this one home, but
yeah,
you would just think that if it was that dry sump belt, you're either on or off. That wouldn't be something you would limit back.
Yeah, no, once that's fixed, you're good to go again. So you'd have full oil pressure and you'd be good to go. Question is, Rob knows that at this point it's kind of impossible for him to win unless some other people break. So he's probably not trying to beat up the truck too much. It's not his own truck. Maybe he just wants to, get the truck in.
And what's impressive to me is the truck in 3rd. Well, he just got bumped down as I'm saying that. The Dustin Miller truck that was in 3rd just got bumped down to 4th is actually a spec truck. So he is running an LS3 engine package. He's down 700 horsepower on Christopher. So a little bit lighter truck, but way less horsepower out there. Looks like Drew Wentz has actually moved up into 3rd on time.
Goes back to that saying, to finish first, you first must finish, right? I mean,
yes,
it's
sir.
the consistency of that lower horsepower motor, but if you can stay out there and get the laps completed, who knows?
So we are being told that Rob Mack has a flat tire. So he's probably trying to limp it all the way around over to Hot Pit to get that bad boy changed.
Yeah, and to put that in perspective as well, even though they can change these things amazingly quick, I did not realize in under a minute without re-racking it. Here in the States, they have to re-rack them, so probably a little bit more, closer to 2 minutes by the time they get them re-racked. But still, if you have a flat tire in this particular race, you're in trouble. You're pretty much done in terms of a win.
Yeah, that's pretty much your win gone. Rob obviously has had some other issues throughout the day, too, so I don't think it would worry him too much to stop and change it. But I bet you he can limp that thing around faster than they can change it. Get it down to the hot pit. Now, the only hope is they don't wrap the wheel around the brake caliper or something, attempting to do that, hitting a rock or whatever is out there.
The tire, obviously, yeah. I mean, those flat tires will destroy anything around them.
Yep, there's a lot of stuff up in front of that tire, too, that it can destroy up on the shocks. Start ripping stuff off of bypass tubes. Now, that was something I noticed yesterday when his truck was sitting here. That truck actually has a different type of live valve system on those Fox shocks. I wouldn't call it live valve. It's actually pneumatic bypass tubes. Now, he has hoses coming off of those on that truck where if that spare tire gets up in there and rips it off, that truck goes full soft. So that could be a really bad day for them.
Full soft is never good.
No. There's Dustin Miller. That is Sterling.
That's Sterling
Miller.
for sure.
Yeah, it's been throwing me off all day long, but we can tell now because it has no hood.
And if you look at his helmet, you can see the gold silver on his helmet there.
Silver
the sticker.
spur.
Yeah.
It's the little visor thing that does it for
and
me.
The visor,
Nobody
yeah.
else has that.
There you go.
Texas boys out of Ackerley, Texas.
Valverde's blowing past the hot pit there, working his way into the infield.
So this will be the end of his 4th lap here, so he will have 2 more laps after this to go out there. So approximately less than 30 minutes until our first finisher will be in if he stays on pace.
And this drone shot will be cool if we can follow it into the jumps coming into the infield here. These are huge jumps. I'm stoked on what Legacy built for this race. This infield is cool. He's checking up just a little bit. He's for sure backing down a tiny bit. He knows he doesn't have to push crazy hard.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he knows he's just got to get it to the finish.
Yeah.
Fox Proving Grounds is very, very wide, but there's a lot of areas of this course where it's very narrow as well.
Yep. So these turns tighten up really tight, as we saw Kaiser and forget who was with them learn earlier. Navigating his way through the infield here, working his way towards the timing loop, which will be right up here ahead. There's like an orangish yellow trailer that Legacy has for their timing loop right there. That'll be the official finish at the end of the day. That's where they call the timing done for the race.
And he's in with a 13-minute and 59-second lap time. So, yeah, he's backed it down considerably.
I was going to say, what was his last lap time?
Wasn't it closer to 13:20 or something like that? At one point, I read a 13:20, I think.
So when he was pushing for Rob, he was definitely down there, and now he's just playing it smart.
By the way, we want to thank Method Race Wheels for bringing us this live stream and sponsoring the live stream here. We appreciate all of their support, and we hear that Dodge is back at it one more time. Dodge, what do you got, bud?
Alrighty, Christopher Pavoordi, he actually just passed the infield there. You can see him leaving. He's actually exactly where that big rollover happened. So you go over the hill there in the back, you make a hard left-hand corner, and that's where that big accident happened. Now, for those of you guys who are watching Racing Redefined, you can actually see it perfectly here on the app. So Racing Redefined is the app. Make sure that you check that out. It's absolutely incredible. So we're here at the Legacy VT Battleground. Christopher Pavoordi has a great lead. You can see that the next set of dust is just barely getting here into the infield, proving that Christopher Pavoordi is pretty far out front. Really sad to hear about Rob Mack lost some kind of belt, and I did hear that he's back in the race. But we are going to throw it back up to the studio and wait for the next couple trucks to come back in.
Thanks a lot, Dodge, as we continue on here, getting towards the end of this one as our leader, looking at him right now, completing his next to last lap.
You can see exactly what I was talking about. He's running kind of some of the lower lines there as he fades out, of course. But yeah, running some of them lower lines, using that all-wheel drive to his advantage, not having to pound through the big whoops on the outside of these big full turns here.
Yeah, this track just deteriorates so fast between 2 days of having over 100 cars on it or whatever. Between the 2 days combined, it's just 6 laps. It gets pounded. These holes get huge. They did go out and do a little bit of dirt work last night. Tried to straighten out a couple sections, make a couple sections a little easier. Did some work to the infield, which this infield is actually pretty cool. They did a good job. Shout out to Legacy and everybody for making a fun infield here for us to watch as spectators.
Pretty dang cool to see all these jumps back in the infield. The good old Laughlin infield days. See
yeah, we just need a big we need a big leap. We need the big Laughlin leap to
There
be
you go,
back.
the Laughlin leap. Yep.
That was a spectacle when that was out here.
It's cool seeing all the families with their easy ups up on the berm here watching. All the teams out, hanging out in the Optima Batteries booth here with us.
And I love it. It's like a solid 5-minute trip from the Harrah's to here.
So far away, right?
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah,
Chris
the weather
is
out
running
here
those
is
low lines, man. See, staying out of the berm, staying out of the big holes.
Yeah, weather's been
It's
spectacular. By
Yeah.
the way, live track map powered by Optima Batteries and live timing and scoring powered by Clarios. We appreciate all of their support as well as, once again, we go on board courtesy of that Starstream Pro system with Greg Adler.
There comes Rob McCackran, so he's back going again. Got his belt fixed.
He is back in the race.
Looking for that flat tire.
So
Should already
this
be
is
through
after
the
the
hot
hot
pit.
pit, so they probably just changed
Okay,
it.
so they did get in there and get it changed. And once again, I believe Dodge has a little bit more. Dodge?
Alrighty, we are here right next to the infield. This is actually right next to the Legacy 10. You see we got media here, and Rob McCackran is back on the gas. There's a couple big jumps right here. We can watch him jump through here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Rob hasn't taken the Joker lap. Let's see if he does right here. He's going to take a hard right, or he's sending it through the Joker lap. So that's a really, really fun part of the race. Not one that I've seen here a lot in the off-road racing. Essentially, it's about a third of a mile or a quarter of a mile longer than the regular course. Adds a variation into this. So they built up a big berm there in the back. You can see Robbie's going to rejoin the course here in about 20 seconds. But that's a little on-the-ground information for you guys. We'll send it back up to the booth. But we're going to stay tuned as there's a whole bunch more dust coming into the infield. I know we got some helicopters and some drones in the air. So back to you in the studio.
Fish, you talked about the wind a little bit earlier in the day, and you can see the flags. It seems like it's picking up a little bit, and it does seem to be clearing the track a little bit quicker than it was before.
Yeah, it did the same thing yesterday, kind of. It picked up right around the same time yesterday, and then it died off in the evening. So it'll be interesting to see if it does the same thing here. But yeah, no shortage of wind right now, and no shortage of temperature either, as we were definitely over 100 degrees or close to 100 degrees today. Hot out here in Laughlin. This is different than some of the other races that are here in Laughlin, which a lot of these guys have done before. They're at a different time of the year. You know, there's a big race here in December when it's a lot cooler, so it's kind of the opposite of what we're doing today. Usually everyone's out here bundled up, and it's always windy no matter what, but usually it's the opposite, and it's cold out here. Now you're out here in shorts and a T-shirt, and it's hot.
Yeah, I looked out of the river, and everybody was enjoying the water, obviously on a warm day like today.
Now, I saw there when Dodge was doing his little course side interview with us there. Rob did go for the Joker lane while he was standing there.
Good catch. Yep.
He's definitely got that in there now. We're on board with Greg Adler and the four-wheel parts. ORW truck. Oh, and he's checking up hard now. He's not even sending it anymore. He's definitely playing it safe to get this truck across the line, try and get that overall for the weekend.
Yeah, he knows what he needs to do at this point.
We are watching Sterling Miller, our current second place unlimited truck, the number 86.
Did he lose any more panels yet?
Nope. Well, let's see the driver's
That's all
side.
that's left is the doors and the roof. I mean,
Yeah.
probably pretty good there.
Well, the driver's door's almost gone, too.
Yeah. We'll see if the driver's door makes it the rest of the way around or not.
Left the passenger door on for a camera shot so we can see the name of the team there.
Yeah.
Love the Silver Spur name. Of course, it's the name of the business as well. He said, yeah, we just went with Silver Spur Racing, but makes perfect sense for the guys out of Texas.
They're good people, too, man. They move a lot of dirt.
Really
so
good dude, man.
He's dirt, that's for sure. They own Silver Spur Energy Services, so they move dirt for a living. As we pass one of our cars stopped off to the side there. Looked like one of the unlimited buggies, not one of our trucks.
One more time, a good look at the Optima Batteries packed machine of Scott Pulvorti, who's had a perfect run out here today. Had to dig deep one day ago, was able to put everything together, got himself in a good position. Started off in the front row, if you will, here today in the second position. Had to close that gap, was able to do so pretty quickly as he got clean air right off the bat. So wonderful stuff there for him as he's been able to maintain that speed. And then, of course, obviously Rob McCachran falling off the pace there and allowing him to run away with it, meaning Pulvorti to run away with it here. By the way, we have to thank Method Race Wheels for this live stream. They're bringing us all the live stream action here today, so if you're able to watch us at home on your phone or wherever the case may be, it is courtesy of Method Race Wheels, Optima Batteries, as we talked about before, for the live track map, and then also the live timing and scoring powered by Clarios. Fox Shots Pit has been busy over there today, and also the Fox Shocks Proving Grounds.
Definitely my favorite section of the course, watching them guys go through there. The holes just getting massive.
We just saw the 27 coming back through on a trailer, so that was they're definitely out of the race now. So bummer for the Olegas father and son team that were out here this weekend. Didn't have the best results, but they qualified first. He showed speed, and they'll both be back at the next race, I'm sure. Try it again.
Yeah, he's having the championship, the post-championship year blues, if you will. It seems that that's just the way it goes. The reigning unlimited champ here with Legacy. 2 wins last year, one at Parker and one at Baja, Nevada, along with 2 more podiums. Struggled at the season opener here this season and struggled here, obviously. So that championship season long gone now as they're digging in here in 2025, trying to back it up.
Yeah. So Sterling Miller is currently in the second position at the end of the 4th lap on the time, at least. We'll have to wait till a couple more trucks come through, but it's really getting spread out now. You can see on your map there's not a lot of cars left moving on the track at this point. We are down to just a few here. We've had quite a big attrition day.
Greg Adler giving somebody the bumper down there at the bottom. Vanderway truck, yep.
Good race, yeah.
Sneak around the Vanderway truck there. Good clean pass made, brought to us by the Star Street Pro system.
That was a little cleaner than the Keyser one there.
Yeah, just a little bit,
checked up a little bit more.
Keyser was full send. Bummed for those guys, man. That was a fun race to watch.
It was one of the Millers, 51.
Adler's had his fair share of that, by the way, in short course. He's tumbled more than one of them for sure, so he's seen both sides of that one.
See the one that got monster trucked by somebody at a race? Flipped over by, man, I believe it was. It might not have been, though. Yep. I believe it was Jerry Welchel that monster trucked him in a turn one
Yeah,
year.
there's been a couple. I think Jerry Welchel landed right on the roof of Carl Renazetter one time, literally like sitting on top of the roof as they continued on. It's not allowed.
No, not a fan of that.
So Dustin Miller is through and showing in the 3rd position now, has completed 4 laps. He is at let's see what our laps time is here, see if it's close. So first place, Christopher Pulvarti's at 53.50. Second place is at 57.56. And then third place is at 59.54. So we are only 2 minutes separating Sterling Miller from Dustin Miller right now for the 2nd and 3rd spot. So a little bit of a race there between 2nd and 3rd still, at least on today's time.
That is a good race. And that is a full-blown unlimited versus a spec. So a little bit of horsepower difference
Hey,
there.
give us an idea of how much of that information they will have in the truck between the teammates, spotters outside. Who's keeping track of that to let them know?
Well, their crew could be watching the same screen that I'm looking at. So if they have a good crew, they should be seeing the same thing and radioing it to them as soon as I see it here.
Letting them know the start splits, the splits on time, where you could push, where you shouldn't push.
Yeah, we saw Drew Wentz coming by a minute ago. Once he updates here, he might jump into the third spot. I'll keep you updated on that.
That's a good race for the top for 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, Drew Wentz, unfortunately, they're out of Tucson, struggling one day ago, was not able to finish. Did qualify pretty inside of the top 10 with a 10th place effort, but struggled one day ago. Was 5th at Parker Dam, 8th in the points last year, and finished 2nd at the season opener here this year. So able to turn it around here today to have a much better run.
Yeah,
That's what's fun about this format, I was just going to say, because it's a 2-day race, right? So even if you do have a bad race day 1, you don't just go home and then you're bummed out. You can fix your truck, get it ready, and then go out on day 2 and at least try to go for a day win or go have some more fun. You know, if you have 2 drivers, throw one driver in one day, the other guy drives the other day. Everybody gets to have a little bit of fun.
Yep. Test some parts, see what you're going to wear out, what breaks. This is one rough course this weekend, so if you're going to break something, this is the weekend you can do it.
There's a lot of driveline failures on this course of different things just because you're on the gas. You have to be on the gas the whole time. You have to drive this race 120% most of the time. You know, today we can see Christopher Pulvardi. He can drive about 60% right here and get to the finish line probably at this point. But until then, he was having to drive 120% this morning.
So on screen right now, we actually have first place up above and second place down low.
Yeah, Fish, I think you're spot on with that. That was one of the questions we asked. I mean, with the 2-day format, do you back off a little bit in day 1, save the truck for day 2, or because it's a sprint race, do you have to go for it? And pretty much everybody said 95 to 100% right from the hit. And these trucks are so good for the most part. Obviously, they're going to prove me wrong here today because we have had some attrition, but the equipment is so good now that they can push that hard.
Yeah, and if you don't, you know that the other guy's going to. You know, it's not like a long race. It's not like a 500-mile race where one guy might push really hard off the bat and you're like, oh, let him go.
So a little bit earlier, as I just alluded to, we did talk to the drivers. Let's let you hear directly from them on what their thoughts are about running this 2-day format and how they feel about it.
So racing 2 days is convenient for me, and I love the short course kind of format here in Laughlin.
You know, it gives you a chance to make some corrections that, you know, you may not have caught something the first day and you say, oh, we could trim that, make that a little better.
Who's ever leading from Saturday will start first on Sunday. So if you have that gap, and that guy that you beat, you know, by a minute has to pass you and put 31 seconds on you to beat you. So
right off the gate, you got to go. The race is so short that you just really kind of get in your rhythm. It's like, oh, it's over. I mean, the second day is like, okay, so we can go faster on Sunday.
You know, play into that strategy. Do I drive fast the first day? Do I cruise the first day, save the truck? It's a tough one, but ultimately I feel like as a driver, you're like, I want to win day 1.
You can run wide open. You're not really trying to conserve the truck for a long time. You can kind of just put it all on the table.
It's key to qualify good and then have a very good first day and hopefully be leading with a big enough gap to where Saturday or Sunday, the second day, you can just settle in and put 6 good laps in.
You got to go if you want to be, you know, on the podium with the unlimited trucks and some of the guys that are going to be racing this weekend for sure.
You can't leave too much on the table at Laughlin because it is a short course. So you have to hammer down. You got to try real hard on day 1. It's a short course race for desert.
So it sounds like those guys there all they're pushing day 1 and 2. There's no breaks here.
Yeah, that's pretty much was a consensus from everybody. You got to go. And then the follow-up question was, put it in percentages, how hard you will push in a sprint race like this in comparison to a endurance race. And that's where they all said, I mean, 90 to 95, 100% right at the hit. Versus, you know, a long 500,000-mile endurance race where they might run 85%.
Yeah, you don't have much time. You know, if you go out there and you go conservative day 1 and the other guys go out there and they go 100% and they don't have a problem, you're not going to be able to catch them on day 2 unless they have problems. So then you're already behind the eight ball.
And they're going to start in front of you, which is another problem. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to go as hard as you can at this race, which is what makes it a really exciting race for spectators.
Yes, it does. While we were doing that feature there, Christopher Pulvardi came through, starting his or completing his 5th lap, starting his final lap, his 6th and final lap, and it looks like he's about an hour and 8 minutes for the day so far.
Perfect. So in about
Robert, you
14
drive
minutes.
these things out there. What's he hearing on that last lap? Every little tink and rattle and
yeah, every little thing starts playing with your head a little bit. I actually wear headphones now, so we don't hear a whole lot going on. It's actually nice.
You listen to music, or what are you doing?
So I'm listening to music. My co-driver's talking so much, and unless our crew is
Do you
yelling
really
at,
listen to music?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I figured
the
you were
whole
just
race.
listening to the co-dogs. So.
Nope. So he has to actually talk louder than the music sometimes. The intercom we run from PCI actually kind
It's
of.
a problem if you start singing with the music. That's
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and I do. Like, I do.
Yeah. Yeah, the co-driver is very important. You know, you got to listen to your co-driver, but you got to remember this too. If anything ever happens, like if you get a flat tire, if the truck breaks, it's always the co-driver's fault.
Correct. 100%.
And I think did we talk to some co-drivers out here, right?
We did.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that I asked was, in a sprint race like this, why even have a co-driver? I mean, it's 15 miles around here. Certainly you can do that without a co-driver, but I promise you, if you don't think that hit a button, every single one of those drivers wants that co-driver there. If for nothing else, what you just said, if they have a flat tire, that co-driver's got to get out and get it done. So let's let you hear from the co-drivers as well.
And the importance of a co-driver racing. You have a driver, co-driver, and a truck. And you can't do it without any of those three.
If you want to compete with the best, you got to have the best co-drivers.
I'll make notes from that pre-run lap, and then the co-rider will post them on the GPS so he can read those out to us as we're going.
There's no chance I could win a lot of the races I've won without a co-driver.
And even on a short course like this or a short loop, you want to know, to be reassured of what, is coming up ahead.
A second driver that is mentally fresher, emotionally fresher, physically fresher is an advantage.
The navigator, the co-driver he's your best friend.
The co-driver's job is also keep an eye on temperatures, transit training temps, engine temps, oil temps, just things like that to make sure the machine's going. Because as a driver, you're not really looking at any of that. So the co-driver's responsibility is to keep engine management and navigation going.
The dynamic that co-driver or driver has, you really have to have a dynamic. Obviously, it's easier for us because we're married, but having that flow and trusting the person next to you and vice versa, it's really like a trust thing, and you have to vibe with the person.
There's a lot of strategy talking with your co-driver. He's looking at the map. He knows what's coming up and stuff, and him going, hey, yeah, just be patient. Let's not crash both of us right now for no reason, because even if you keep hitting him, there's a 1,000-foot cliff on the left. He's not going to pull over no matter what.
And then as the race develops, he's able to drop icons, to reminders of, hey, this developed here. So maybe, for instance, example, a rock is on the track, but it's on the side, left side. Well, somebody hits that, it could either be completely gone, so he could eliminate that note, or it could get hit and get moved in the middle or to the right.
He's my prep guy. He's my navigator. He's my flat changer. He's the one that says, come on, Scott, let's go. Or he tells me, slow down. Or, he tries to keep me in line.
My job is I'm observing the GPS, the mode tech. It's kind of a lot of multitasking for sure.
My co-driver T-Bird there, he hits them all on the head. And when we make mistakes, they're usually mine.
There's a lot of things that a co-driver can really help you out with. I like my co-driver in my truck all the time just because it's driver competence.
And many times I'll say to the co-driver, got any ideas of which way we should go? And we're going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, good stuff there. As you could hear, everybody chime in that they're very passionate about those co-drivers. And one of the most important lines that I heard was, yeah, you could do it without a co-driver, but you're not going to keep up with the fastest people out here. So, End of story.
Especially in this dust. The co-driver's damn near driving the truck for you. Hold the hand signals. So a lot of times you'll see the co-driver with their hand up, kind of giving you the left and right. It's so they don't have to talk as much. You can kind of see it out of your peripheral as the driver and know, hey, we're in blinding dust, but this is sweeping left, or we have a sharp 90 coming up, sharp whatever it is. But we are starting our 6th and final lap. This is an overhead shot of Sterling Miller here with the Silver Spur Energy Services, going through the timing loop, actually starting his final lap right now.
Our current running order for today is going to be Christopher Polvardi in the 94 is going to be first. Sterling Miller in the 86 is going to be second. Drew Wentz in the 87 is going to be third. Dustin Miller did get bumped down to fourth by Drew Wentz. Greg Adler is running in the 5th position. John Vanderway is in 6th, and Kevin McGilvery with Rob McCachran driving is in 7th position. That is our current running order right now. On time.
Yeah. And Chris has about 4 minutes over second place. On time.
Yeah, he's good. He's like we said, he's just got to get it to the finish. As soon as Rob went out with the problem, Christopher just had to cruise at that point.
Yep. Working his way through the Fox Shocks Proving Grounds here. Killer helicopter shot following overhead.
Yeah, and put in perspective, that would be about halfway through this final lap, right around mile marker 7.
Yes, sir. Working along the ridge line here. There's some big holes in here that sneak up on you, especially in these trucks that go 100 miles an hour over them. Big sweeping 180 right coming up here. The giant cliff on the left you don't want to go off of. I have seen people do it before. It's quite impressive to do it, but
yeah, it definitely got my attention when I rode around there on Wednesday night. It's that elevation is for real.
yeah. And we have had some fly off somehow. Just blow the berm just right, and next thing you know, you're pointing straight when you don't want to be. Working his way down here into the retention basin. Some big rocks and stuff. So if we were going to get a flat tire on this course, it's going to be in here.
Did you just jinx him?
I hope not. It would make the race interesting.
It might actually. Yeah, maybe.
He got over here, I would get up and leave.
Yeah.
Say, Mike Kim's pretty fast. He can do it in 2 minutes, and he's got 4 minutes on him. We'll be all right. Working his way up. So he'll come up here and make a left and kind of a sharp 180 right and climb back up out of this wash here.
Once again, just a fabulous drone shot, showing us the speed that he's carrying out here through the desert.
Shout out to all the drone guys and video guys out here this week. They're definitely doing a killer job. Works his way up
I was
here.
talking about it being narrow here as well. Doesn't take much of a mistake.
Nope. Takes a hard left up here and kind of follows the power line stretch.
I mean, even there, he's on the outside edge of that berm. I mean, it wouldn't take much more to go out over the end of it. I mean, he's being conservative here, so I'm sure very safe. No worries, but if he was really pressing for time, that's a potential moment.
Yep. Lose a couple seconds or toss it off the berm.
See the helicopter up there as well. We go back on board with the four-wheel parts machine of Greg Adler and Off-Road Warehouse.
Once again, the Racing Redefined app. Good way to watch kind of the overhead on the left there. You could turn on different trucks, turn them off, see where they're at, see how they're running.
Yeah, this is the first time that this app has been used, and is something that they're going to be looking at, improving on, adding some more features to it. So stay tuned. Make sure you download that, and we'll keep you posted on what race is going to be used next for it. But it's pretty cool to see the technology being put to use and being able to pretty much watch live exactly where every car is and get splits every 2 miles we had this race.
Good look there at the screen that the co-driver is able to take a look at. Talking to some of those co-drivers, they said they hardly take their eyes off of that. I mean, they will really watch, obviously based on GPS where they're at and those notes that pop up when they're coming along, what they want to say to the drivers. And then, as you had mentioned before as well, all the temperatures and pressures that they keep an eye on. They're very busy over there.
Yeah, the co-drivers don't have time to look out the front of it. There's some trucks where their dash is so tall, I'm surprised some of the guys can't see out of the truck at all.
Hey, what are you saying over there?
Hey, I'm a short guy, too. I know what it's like.
Might be better. You might not want to see what's going on out there. Scare you to death.
We have nice seat cushions. UPR makes some nice seat insert cushions that make you a little taller than what you are. I have a few of them myself.
You have to double stack them?
Not most of the time. Usually one's enough.
They're called phone books.
Oh, man, that was
That's
our
someone in the hot pit. That's
that
one
was
of the
Dustin
Millers.
Miller.
Yeah, he was running 4th position headed out on this lap. So it looks like they're working on something on the engine there.
Yep.
Maybe a belt or something for him as well.
And that is a weird thing to have going wrong at this race. I did not expect belts to be an
And
issue.
if it is a belt, that would be at least the third one. That way, actually the fourth one, because Kit lost 2.
Yep.
Well, you know what it is. There's a lot of silt and soft dirt, in some of the corners there. So, in the second part of this race, it gets real soft. All it takes is a little bit of that little rock to get up in there and to break a belt right away or throw a belt off. So I think that might be part of the problem we're seeing today.
Yeah, and the same thing goes on in short course racing as well, where those guys will lose belts, and primarily because of dirt and rocks, whatever the case may be. Adrian Chinney has actually been working on a beltless engine for a couple of years, trying to get away from that. I mean, it's a real problem out here, and it's cost these guys just hundreds of thousands of dollars in engines because of it, kick an oil belt off.
Yeah, Rob Mack and them, at least they noticed it soon enough, right? Sometimes you might not know it. Your oil pressure goes to zero. If you're not paying attention, boom, there goes your engine.
That makes for an expensive weekend.
Oh, no question.
And I'm bummed for the Miller guys down there. I believe this is their second or third race in the truck, and to be having bad luck kind of sucks.
That's going to push Greg Adler in front of them for the 4th position. Drew Wentz there in 3rd. But Christopher Polvardi should be coming to the finish pretty soon. We can see him on the track map right there. Look at him. You can see he's past mile 12 on the map. So he's going to be coming back in. He's only got about 2.5 more miles to go, and he will be across the finish line.
Good look at our leader.
Yep, nice onboard shot from the helicopter there as he works his way around the ridge line, getting ready to drop in.
Yeah, talking about Adler as well, man, what a great turnaround for him. He's really having a great day if he can bring that thing home. Qualified 8th, finished up 6th.
Yeah, that's definitely
on day
not bad.
number 1, so he's had a nice run here today.
Give a little perspective here. I believe that was Drew Wentz just going through to start his last lap. He is currently in 3rd place, correct?
Yep, he's in 3rd. We have 3 cars that have completed 5 laps. Polvardi, Sterling Miller, and then Drew Wentz. That is 1, 2, and 3.
So Chris is about to finish, and Drew is just starting his.
Yeah, he almost lapped the whole field.
Yep, he's out. He's flying. He was out to prove something today.
Yeah, these Mason all-wheel drive trucks are they're for real. These things are fast. It was fun. It's fun to see when you get a few of them out here. Honestly, I wish we would have had a few more of them at this race because it would have been really close if we had a few of these guys out here. So
notice he has kept every body panel on his truck too.
Yeah, it's been clean. He's had a clean run.
Clean run.
Yeah,
working his way past the hot.
He tried to knock one off yesterday.
Yeah. He tried, but it didn't work. Working his way into the infield here.
All right, so this is your race leader right here coming in to the finish. Couple more turns to go. As soon as you see him go by that orange trailer, like you pointed out, Robert, that is going to be his official finish line.
Yep, running the inside line, staying out of the holes. Got a little cameo from Motorsport Safety Dave there up on the hill.
Couple left-hand turns left to go here, about a U-turn or so, and then he's going to be across the finish line, huh?
And you nailed it earlier. When he's taking it easy on the jumps, the truck does not look as good as when he's flat out.
Yeah, it's not meant to go slow.
No.
They're not meant to work like that.
It definitely looks a little bit more rough when he's going slow.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Chris and Mike Kim are stoked on today's results.
Yeah, he's really taking it easy. Yeah, he's just cruising.
I wonder if he has an issue he's maybe.
No, he's being smart. He's being smart. He don't want to do something dumb right before the finish line right there.
Enjoying his victory lap.
There he goes. Yep. He's across the finish line. That is going to be your race leader, race winner, Christopher Polvardi.
Yeah,
Cruise to a finish.
First on road, first across the line, if you will. First overall.
Total time, 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 19 seconds. So 1:22:19 is going to be his time for today. We know he's going to be the weekend winner because no one else is even close.
Yeah, look, Sterling Miller's just coming out of the retention basin up there, so he's still halfway around the course.
Yeah.
And to show you what a hot rod Polvardi had, we know he was taking it easy there, come lap 2, I want to say. And one day ago, it was McCachran that went 1 hour and 19 minutes around here. So,
yeah.
He backed it way off and still ran within a couple of minutes.
Yeah, he backed it off about a minute a lap for the 3 laps after that happened, it looked like.
Playing it smart, making sure he gets it home. Might be a young driver, but he's very experienced.
Once he gets checked in here with Legacy, they'll get his tracker off of there, and then they will send him over here to the Optima booth, and you guys will hear from the man, Christopher Polvardi, and Mike Kim themselves in just a few minutes once they get over here. I think Dodge is going to get back over here and do an interview in a little bit.
Yeah, making his way over here now, and, of course, we'll see how the rest of this thing figures out. Still a number of trucks out here on the course to finish up our podium, find out if, in fact, Sterling Miller will be able to bring this thing home. No body panels pretty much left on it, but the truck has been running flawlessly. Good look there at Rob Mack after having their what we believe to be dry sump oil belt issues and a flat tire. They're trying to finish up here. This one's strong.
And he's still only on lap 4. He's got 2 to go. I wonder if he's going to be able to still put it on the podium for the weekend if he can get it across the line with a good time.
Yeah, there is a time limit when you have to start your last lap before it, so it's going to be close with Rob Mack. I don't know if he will be able to do that final lap or not. We'll see.
As Fish had mentioned, Sterling Miller in second, Drew Wentz in third.
Greg Adler has now moved up into fourth
Yeah, in
after
the fourth place. Yeah, with that Dustin Miller, unfortunately, had that parts breakage, and
Oh,
Adler,
Greg Adler is
Adler
coming
picked up
to a
another
stop.
one. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
The
We
dreaded
are-
fourth place position.
Maybe
Yeah.
a flat because he's kind of still moving, but trying to find a good spot.
Nope, got some onboard audio here.
That sound like it's ticking kind of loud?
It does. Man,
Sounds
he's
like a
not
knock.
in the race line. He's just cruising next to it.
Possibly a rod knock, maybe? I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Body language and Kodog staring at the mirror isn't good. They're limping something. We might be having a change for fourth after all.
Well, I mean, Dustin Miller was broken in the hot pit, so I don't know if did he ever get back out on track?
We did not get to see, but next up would be John Vanderway.
Vanderway, yeah.
Bummer for those guys. Nice onboard shot here of Larry Trim in the number 99. That's a little bit older truck too. He's definitely not at race pace through the Fox Proving Grounds there. I know how fast that truck can go through there. I've seen it do it.
Miller, Wentz, and Adler on lap 5. Everybody else still on lap 4. And as Fish mentioned just a moment ago, if you don't get that last lap started within the proper time frame,
they will
you don't
cut
get
you
to finish
off.
it. Yep.
Yeah, then you won't be an official finisher for the day.
We're watching the overhead of Larry Trim coming out of the Fox Shocks Proving Grounds.
Just a spectacular day out here for all of our fans watching from other areas. I mean,
Yeah.
is it warm? Yeah, but I mean, it's a beautiful breeze out here. If you can create any shade at all, it's
nice
a
in the
beautiful
shade.
day for sure.
The shade has definitely made it tolerable, but other than that, it is currently 93 degrees out here right now in Laughlin, Nevada. We're watching the overhead of Sterling Miller.
Is that a really good run?
Yep. Running second place for the day today. Starting this last lap, he was about 4 minutes behind Polvorde on corrected time, but he did start deeper down the list after yesterday's times.
It'll make the trip worthwhile here coming from Texas. I mean, it's pretty good ride.
They bring some cool chase trucks too. So they got their energy trucks back there, and they bring some really neat chase trucks.
Well,
so if you ever get a chance to check them out in the pits, definitely worthwhile to stop by the Sterling Miller pits.
Pretty rough right-hander right there as he navigates his way through.
Why does it look like they are slowing down?
Oh, that's
my
a
gosh.
fist pump.
They are slowing down, and they are coming into the hot pits. And this is our second place truck.
This is Miller here.
Let's see if he stays at speed.
Oh.
Oh, no, he's going into the hot pits. This is our second place truck.
We may not have a second truck finish today.
He might have ran out of. Oh, no. What is he doing? He's cruising past him.
He's going.
He's got to be coming back here. Oh, you can see that.
They're pointing down like something's wrong.
He's got to
Holy
be
moly.
close to the finish line, though, right?
He's about a mile and a half out, but he's got to get over these jumps in the infield here. I wouldn't be surprised if he just totally rolls through them.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have anybody that he has to worry about behind him, I don't think, here. He wasn't that. He was a little close to Drew Wentz.
What
So
an
the question
upset
is,
this
where's
would
Drew
be.
Wentz?
He doesn't make it. Because he is nowhere close to race speed here.
Wild how things change.
Last lap, couple turns from the finish.
Yeah, never even mind the last lap. Yeah, like you said, a couple turns from the finish. And, you know, a little over a mile from the finish.
So he's got to make one left-hander here. Couple more jumps, and he's at the timing loop. And hopefully he knows that's the timing loop and just gets it through it. He's opting to
Just shorten that track up a
shorten
little
the track
bit.
up a little bit.
I think it may have been a drive shaft problem because I saw him kind of rolling his hands and pointing down.
pointing
Like, I wonder
down.
if it's a drive shaft vibration, you know, like they hit something and dinged the drive shaft.
Universal
maybe.
coming out of it or something like that,
Yeah.
trying to hang on. I mean, he is
Oh,
barely.
no. He's leaking something bad.
Yeah, maybe took out a part of the third member.
Or is that
Who
the
knows?
tires doing that? Oh, it's the tires. Sorry, guys. I thought it was fluid coming out of it. It's just filling up the wet dirt.
Let's see. Does he make it? to the timing loop.
He's
So your
smart.
second place truck here.
He has silver spur on the aluminum under the
body
under
panel.
the fiberglass.
It's not the first time he's ripped the body off, I assume.
Not to jinx him, but yes, I have seen that truck with 0 body panels more times
There
than
you
I
go.
can count.
He's going across the timing loop.
Yep,
he is
made
your
it.
finisher.
So that should be
Yep.
our second place, even down. Unless
Wow.
Drew Wentz made up some serious time because he was 2 minutes back starting this last lap.
They were going pretty slow there, though, but I don't see Drew Wentz. If you look at our tracker here, I don't see him on the map.
You guys hear that in the background? That is our race winner, unofficially. Got to say that. Pulling up in here.
All right, so Sterling Miller in with a 1:28, so 6 minutes
6
behind
minutes.
Christopher Polvardi today. So we're going to have to wait and see if Drew Wentz does come around, but I do not see him on the tracker here. So unless his tracker's not working, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, Drew Wentz looks like he might be stopped. Nope, he's going. He's up at the retention basin. So
87.
He's a ways away then.
Yeah, he's
87,
only about
so
a
little bit
half
to go.
halfway through the course.
Well, that's good. We'll see if he can make it back here under power. Are you out, buddy?
Yeah, I'm going to let you guys interview Christopher here. I got to go back to San Diego.
Thanks for all the
I got
help,
a little bit of a drive ahead.
Great job, man. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm
Appreciate
glad
it.
everything went well out here. It was fun watching, being a part of everything. Everybody, that's the Racing Redefined app there that we had on the left. So a big shout out to the Polvardi crew for putting that together, putting everything together here. And I'm glad to see Christopher get a win.
Yep, thanks for joining us, Fish. It was
Yeah.
a pleasure this weekend, sir. Have a safe trip home. Vorde's working his way up here. Gonna get an interview going with Dodge Pullman.
Backed up and wrecked the whole floor.
Yeah, he did. Oh, and they're wrecking it worse, trying to make it better.
Climbing out with the cowboy hat on.
And that was quick. Where did he get that thing from? He didn't keep that in the truck.
He certainly didn't keep it in his fire suit.
No. He already got the #1 trophy, so I guess we can call it official, maybe?
Yeah, good stuff, man. Really good run here today. 94 truck getting it done. Qualified third, finished second 1 day ago. Rolls across first today. Made up the difference, which was 48 seconds along the way that he was behind Rob McCachran. Unfortunately, as documented, Rob having his fair share of issues there today. But back on track now and at speed, trying to complete the race. Christopher up here in the Christopher's up here in the fun tank, baby, sitting right alongside Dodge. Let's get it over to Dodge so he can talk to our winner here today. Great run for Christopher Polvardi.
Come on, sit down with us. Grab a water. You got one. That's great. Yesterday, you were here in the middle. That's the second place spot. Today, you over here on the right. How does that make you feel?
It's good. It's good. I don't like losing, so it's good to come here, get the overall for the weekend, and go home and celebrate a little.
Yeah, what was going through your mind knowing that you were starting next to Rob Mack, and then when you got out in front of him, how it made you feel to know that you beat him off the line, but he was chasing you down?
It was good. Yeah. I knew I had a little advantage getting off that line and playing with Rob, but I knew I only had a couple laps to really make some magic happen before we were going to catch some lappers. So I just kind of put my head down and it was you're just kind of cruising. And then when I heard Rob was out, I just kind of went, okay, let's cruise the holes out there. I mean, I've raced a lot of rough tracks, and that got to be some of the most miserable corner bumps I've ever seen in my life, where literally all-wheel drive trophy truck, we're going 10 miles an hour, just going, this is miserable.
Yeah, the holes out here in Laughlin after 2 days of racing, 6 laps in each truck, plus all the classes before, we probably had hundreds of laps put out in the desert. Mike, yesterday, things got a little wily on the start line. Sounds like you guys did a little bit of suspension work to make that better today. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so obviously we knew the course was going to continue to deteriorate. So we wound up actually putting a little bit more valving in the front shocks, and we wound up dialing up the live valve a little bit. We made some changes to our cornering algorithm and also our acceleration algorithm so that it gave us a little bit more of an advantage off the start. So it wound up working out good.
Yeah, I liked it. It helped a ton.
Yeah, it looked like it. I remember yesterday watching you guys come around here bicycling 3 separate times. It looked like it was pretty rowdy, but you know, we're sitting here in the booth and Christopher's here and there's still not a second place guy here. So you really put it down. We're really, really stoked to have you guys here. It sounds like you've never raced here in Laughlin. So tell me a little bit about the terrain in Laughlin as opposed to anywhere else that you've raced.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's very kind of sandy that deteriorates, creates some big holes even on the straightaways. But compared to Baja, you know, Baja, we're not traditionally running lap over lap after lap. So, you know, this is different because it's such a short lap. We're just seeing it over and over and over, and we're just beating it in. These 40-inch tires just really destroy things. So, yeah, I mean, it's different. It's kind of cool. It's you're in some washes, you're on some graded roads, but by the end of the weekend, it's all kind of just choppy. I grew up riding dirt bikes and stuff just south of here, but it was fun to jump in a trophy truck or an unlimited truck and show what it's it's different.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I know I'm curious about this, and I'm sure everybody else is, but there's a massive jump out there. What do you think your top speed was? And maybe Mike will know best. What do you think your top speed was taking off the big legendary road gap jump?
I want to say it was like just over 100, right?
About 112.
112 miles an hour. And we went and counted it in steps, Ben and I, a good friend of ours. And we saw that it's about 60 feet as wide as the road is, and it's about 150 feet by the time you land if you're going over 100 miles an hour. So that's pretty phenomenal. You have anyone you want to thank, though, before we let you go?
Oh, yeah, there's so many people. I think a huge shout-out to the Optima for coming out here, putting on this huge thing, letting us hang out in this awesome booth. Optima batteries, Toyo tires, Ford Performance, Borla, Method race wheels, Fox shocks, that live valve out there. I mean, it was incredible just being able to dial it in as the course fell apart. Rigid lights, Canon, air filters, decked. The list goes on and on. It takes an army to get here, and I'm stoked to, go celebrate with all the crew.
Yeah, Mike, you want to add to that at all? Anything about Fox shocks that you're stoked about today? I know that you're the tuner, so are you proud of the way they function today?
Obviously, I'm a little biased, but no, it gave us the ability to change through, like even though it's a lap race, there's some different terrain out there, and there were sections where we would jump into one program and jump into another, and then we also have the compression lock button. There's a nice G out there, and I'd always hit the button going into that G out. So it definitely saved us a few times today, and worked flawless.
Well, that's absolutely phenomenal. Looks like we got the next guy coming in here, but you got to remember, everyone talks about Ford, and sometimes people make fun of it, but today Ford stands for first on race day. So way to go. You guys did great. We're going to get these next guys up here. We'll take it to the studio for a second while we pull them up here, though.
What do you got, dude? Thanks, man. Thanks a lot, guys. And, of course, we congratulate Christopher Polvardi as well. So, congrats to him, and we have our second-place finisher pulling up here to the podium as well. Sterling Miller limped that thing in here, but he got her done.
It sounds god-awful, but it made it. So he's definitely had a hell of a day. He's got like 3 body panels left on the entire freaking truck. Hopefully we can get him out of there. That's one of my favorite trucks, by the way. Check out all the bling. Every reservoir is gold. Anything aluminum is gold. Truck just looks dang good. So Sterling looks like he got his 6 laps done today in about 1 hour and 28 minutes versus Christopher's 1 hour and 22. And then our third place vehicle across the line, these are all unofficial, by the way, Drew Wentz with 1 hour 29, so about a minute slower than Sterling. And Sterling barely got it across that last mile. It was definitely a limp, so we'll definitely have Dodge have to ask him what happened because they played it smart and made sure to get it across the line. They are getting a couple waters, getting ready to jump up here and give us a rundown of how their day went. Awesome to see them have a great day. They're one of the nicest teams out here. Sterling's working his way up here with his
Good look
navigator.
at the 56 truck, by the way, still out there on course trying to finish this one up.
Yes, sir. Welcome up here, guys.
All right, tell me what that says on your belt there.
Well, nothing yet.
No, down lower.
Cow dog.
Cow dog. What's the story behind Cow Dog?
My brother hit me with a boat paddle when I was like 11.
Well, shoot. Cow Dog second on the box, everybody. Legend in the making. Now, I saw your truck pulling up here, right? And it didn't sound too pretty. What do you think's going on under the hood?
I think we stripped the rear gear. We lost first gear about second lap. Lost fuel pressure, so we were underpowered from lap 3 on. Finally got the second fuel pump on, and then had too much power and broke the rear gear right at the end of the race. So,
well, Sterling's having a hard time figuring out the power on this truck, right? But you lost your hood, and things look like they've been better. What happened to the front of your car here?
We got a little traffic, I had to move some people yesterday, but it was a good race, good clean race. We just kept pushing. We started out way in the back. I think we started like 15th yesterday. So we've just been working our butts off and taking a beating with the dust, and the course went, it's 10 times worse today than it was yesterday.
Yeah, well, we were asking Christopher, who finished just in front of you, about his jump experience out there. Have you raced out here in Laughlin before? And if you have, what are your thoughts on that big jump, and how fast do you guys think you hit it?
The road jump?
Yeah.
It was much different this year. We have hit it at, 117, 118, something like that? Yeah, so today was like maybe 105, 6, It just had a different lip on it this year. It's always different. You don't come back and have the same approach to it every year, because it does change.
Well, we're going to go over to Cow Dog over here. How does it make you feel knowing that you guys are second on the box after starting way in the back on day 1? I'm going to hand this to you.
It was great. Sterling wheeled the truck extremely well. Legacy's done a great job of putting this whole thing together. Every year that seems like we've come to Laughlin, it's been it's been troublesome. We've rolled here, we wrecked the 6100, we wrecked the trophy truck, both in the same day, blown transmissions, and so for us to come and finish this and be second on the box, I'm extremely proud of. We haven't been in the sport for the longest time ever yet, and so, to be 4 or 5 years in now and get to come and do this and be successful at it is a real treat for us.
Well, that's phenomenal. Sterling, you're second on the box, second on the day. Sounds like you had one heck of a run. Tell me how you're feeling, and then let's thank some people.
Man, overall feel pretty good. Austin, I want to give a huge shout out to him. He did a fantastic job. We drove in dust 99% of the 12 laps. Like I said, we started in the back, and we really had to work hard, and without good calls, you can't gain on these guys. You're driving with top level drivers. You don't run those guys down and pass them by mistake. You got to have a co-driver that's putting you on the spot, and you got to be able to trust them. So Austin did a phenomenal job. I feel a little worse for wear, but no, I'm fine. The last laps were rough, and that's desert racing knows about it. We just kept pushing, kept struggling through it, and it paid off. So, but I want to thank my crew. Number one, like my whole family down here, my wife. 2 of my boys, 2 boys are at home, but Guy and Carter are here. Keith Smith, David Friesen, Sammy, help me. God dang, Ray. Yeah, I go blank. I ain't a good talker on TV. But no, those guys work super hard. SDR, KDM Shock Technologies, man, he shines today. It's as rough as this was. The shocks never faded on us. We still had great, we were still able to push. Danzio race engines, Toyo tires. Obviously, you got 2 guys up here with the same tread on. Those tires hold together. We had no issues tire-wise all weekend, and we didn't give them any break. We were pushing. Silver Spur Energy Services, West Point Silica, all the guys at home holding it down while we get to come out here and play a little bit. Can't do it without them.
Well, that's awesome. You guys here at Sterling and Austin, the dynamic duo. I know it's gnarly out there in the dust. You guys definitely pushed through all of those obstacles of the last couple days. The tread on your tires does look pretty good. I'll give it to you. So they still look brand new. The hood's a little worse for wear, and we'll get to working on that one. But thank you guys for coming up and sitting with me. I'll let you guys get back to your family, go home, celebrate. Way to go.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Thank you guys for putting on a great show. That's great.
Absolutely, thank you.
Great job, guys, as they walk off the stage here. Drew Wentz is backing up now as well. Does make it across the stripe there with the number 87 truck, so congratulations to him out of the Tucson, Arizona area course. So solid run there. We have a lot of people that we really have to thank for helping us put this on here, Robert.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, Fish is out of here, but so much help from the Pole Vorties, so much help from Optima Batteries jumping in here to help us out. Method Wheels, Clarios as well. A lot of help from Fox Shocks and the areas that they are sponsoring, but it's been a huge deal with the Starstream Pro, George Hamill, his entire company. This has been a big push to try and get this app and this technology up so that the fans at home can watch one of these desert races.
It's definitely been neat watching the progression of this over the years. I know George, Zach, his whole team have been busting their butts. Every race it's getting better. Every race, everything seems to just get more and more advanced. The video feeds are better. Watching the Wince guys jump out of their truck here. Hopefully they come back up here with us. But so on time right now for today only. This isn't combined, so I don't have the capability of adding up the times right now. We have Chris with the win for today. Sterling Miller in second. I'm not sure how he finished yesterday, so we'd have to combine them and figure out where he lays. And then Drew Wince just took third. But the difference from first to third is 7 minutes. The difference from second to third is barely a minute. So Chris was still pushing even if he backed it down a little bit.
Yeah, well, and obviously Sterling Miller having his fair share of issues. Said
Yes.
he broke a rear gear. So, man, he was lucky to limp that one across the line for sure, as Drew Wentz is now making his way up here onto the winner's stage. Sit down there on the couch alongside Dodge. Congrats, Drew. Excellent job. I said excellent job. You weren't too far from second either. We only know for today, so we don't know the overall, but well.
You guys were pushing. Yeah. It looks good.
Nice job.
Congrats, guys.
Over there on the fun couch, and once again, we'll get over there to Dodge.
Couch, thank you. Well, I'm sitting down here with Drew Wentz and Danny. Is that right? Oh, that's what's up. You guys are sitting third on the box. That's pretty phenomenal. We didn't see you guys here yesterday, but that didn't matter, right? So what matters today? Today is the final race. So tell me how it makes you feel to be up here on the box.
It feels really good after yesterday. Yesterday was pretty low. We only went 4.2 miles, broken input shaft, brand new part, just racing. So today we just we started dead last. We figured we'd just go out and have some fun, and as we were rolling, we were just catching people, passing people, so we just kept pushing. That's all we did.
Well, we saw you guys out there in the field, and you guys were ripping. You guys have this beautiful white truck, easy to see, which is really, really fun. Makes it look like a flash of white, maybe a blur right there on the race course. Now, Danny, you're sitting side seat. How do we think Drew is as a driver? You think he's a little bit scary?
No, he was doing a great job. He was doing awesome. He kept his lines, made good smart lines, and he did a good race.
Well, that's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I know you guys are a bunch of buddies, right? You built this truck together, You race it together. Tell me a little bit about the behind the scenes of this truck and how you got here.
Actually, about 12 years ago or so, 15 years ago, I used to help another crew of guys, and I just wanted to do it on my own. So the only way that I really could do it was to build my own machine. I didn't have any sponsors. I really didn't have a lot of know-how back then. I did work with some other guys. That's how I kind of got into it. But built my own truck, my first one. This is my second one. And we're all volunteers. We're all friends of friends. I mean, my other co-driver yesterday, I went to high school with him. He was a buddy of mine in high school. This is my uncle. He started me racing when I was 8 years old on quads. So we're all interlinked. We're all buddies. We're all family. We come over on Sundays and we work on the truck on Sundays. We get off of work on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We do that because TT, trophy truck, Tuesday, Thursday. We can always remember. So we do that, and we work Tuesday, Thursday, Sundays, and that's all we do. We enjoy it.
That's absolutely phenomenal. Since your second truck is a home team, homegrown, hometown, tell me about the people that you got to thank behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, it's obviously all my friends, my family, my wife. She puts up with the long shop hours, and we just had 2 brand new baby boys. I got a 1.5-year Kaysen and a 6-month-old Logan, so she's taking care of the little boys when I'm working on the truck. So I got to thank her the most. ADS shocks, you know, Wicks, Dayco, there's some little guys that give us some parts here and there, you know, so I got to thank them. Turn 2 for all of their media that they do. Those guys are awesome. They always give us great pictures, videos, helicopter footage. Legacy, I got to thank them. I mean, they put on a great race every time, very professional. The whole weekend has been like on spot, on time. So give it off to those guys for doing such a great job and, you know, putting that all together. And we get to race. That's what they do. They put it together. We come out and put the show on. So.
Well, you guys did an amazing job. You have an amazing truck, an amazing team. You got a beautiful family. You got kids who are going to be proud of their dad who's on top of the box and with us here on the podium. But we're going to throw it back up to these guys. Thank you guys for racing with us, meeting with me up here on the fun couch, as we'll call it. But we'll throw it back up to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Dodge. Yeah, great stories, great time, and so cool. And that's what some of the drivers said, right, about the 2-day format. And we heard Fish over here say it as well. That's the bonus. I mean, day 1, if you struggle, day 2, you get a chance to regroup and come out here and take another stab at it, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, they did, and they came out and really put their stamp on it. From last to third is impressive. Those guys were on absolute rails today, running down people, making the passes. Talk about an awesome family dynamic, too.
Yeah, a lot of fun, very respectful. They enjoy what they're doing out here. And, you know, he mentioned legacy. It is, as they come back here to the booth, heads up, guys, we could have been picking our nose.
Yeah.
But we haven't really said too much about legacy and this organization. I mean, right from the words, right from the mouth of Rob McEachran, how much they love to come and run these events. The atmosphere, always a family atmosphere out at the desert, but they love everything about the people that run this thing, and it's super cool. Don doing a great job. It's Don, Christine, Liz, I believe it is, and Don was right alongside Casey folks back in the day. Those 2 guys worked together, you know, relentlessly, and of course we lost Casey too soon, but Don has carried on that legacy, if you will, hence
Correct.
The name of this series. And everybody that I've spoke to absolutely loves him and the way that they're doing things. They love the events. They love the atmosphere, as I said before, and just the overall feel of what it's like to come out here and run one of these legacy events.
Yep, the Legacy team definitely does it right. They have amazing course marking, registration, everything usually goes lightning fast. Just great people. Donald, Liz, Christy, all of Donald's family, the Jacksons. When you're out here, half of the people out here have the same last name. They all take care of business. They make stuff happen. I've never seen a course cleaned up as fast as the Legacy team does it. I swear they're following the last competitor, picking up all the course markings and stuff as they're going. It's really cool. I love being a part of the Legacy series. Chris is popping some champagne all over.
And let's get over to Dodge. I believe he's right in the middle of it.
All righty, you guys, there you have it. We've popped the champagne. Way to go. Give me some knuckles here. I'm not going to drink this, but I'll hold it for you. You guys can bask in your glory. Congratulations. You guys want to thank a couple more people after popping the champagne?
I think it's just a huge shout out to Optima. Look what they put on. Pretty fun. And the Legacy people. I mean, this Legacy off-road race was a ton of fun. First time racing here, and definitely won't be the last. And yeah, I think Donald, Liz, Christy, they put on one heck of a show, and I think for stateside racing, this is the place to be.
Absolutely. Congratulations to these guys. Make sure to watch out for them later here in the season as they continue their winning run.
So that'll wrap things up here, man. It's been a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend of racing. Starting off with qualifying on Friday, obviously day 1 of competition on Saturday, and the final day of competition here today. Final thoughts here, Robert?
I think it was an amazing weekend of racing. It was cool to see all the strategies play out, how the attrition came into play today. Man, I don't think you can ask for much more.
Yeah, it's been very, very good. Of course, we want to thank everybody at Legacy Racing Association, as we were talking about before, for putting this on. We want to thank VT Construction for being the sponsor of the Battleground here at Laughlin, Nevada. Incredible effort for sure. Go back and thank some of our sponsors, including Method Race Wheels for our live stream here today, Optima Batteries powering the live track map, and then also Clarios for sponsoring our live timing and scoring. And we don't want to forget Fox Shocks and the Fox Shocks Proving Grounds. Wonderful stuff. Special thanks to Starstream Pro and all their systems as well. It's been a great run out here for Robert Campbell, Fish, and Dodge Pullman. I am Ken Stout. We will see you next time when we go racing with the Legacy Racing Association.